What is up, everybody? This is the Broccoli and Breakdowns podcast. I'm Tanner, and this is episode number 8. Today we've got Michael Stephenson, aka Alex Dangerfield, and Shawn Sims, two of the members of Promo. We talk about how the band got started. We cover how Alex got his name, which is kind of a weird story. Then we also cover Maniacal music, its history, and the Toys for Tots show, and a bunch of other stuff, so you definitely want to stick around. Check out Promo on Facebook, and you are currently listening to the song The Original, which you can purchase on Bandcamp, so go do that. As always, you can listen to all episodes of the Broccoli and Breakdowns podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Play Music, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube, and all of their major streaming services. Thanks for tuning in. State.
Yeah. Very original.
It is about $12 or $13 for a handle.
Dang.
Yeah. Now you get where this is going.
Yeah.
We would drink a lot of that shit, and occasionally you would run out of mixers, so you just do water and vodka.
Or why don't you just do it straight?
I've done tea and vodka before.
I don't like doing shots.
Did you say anything about shots?
Or pulls. I don't like doing...
No?
No. I've done it enough that I'm like, it's not fun anymore. It's not fun.
Well, I don't really know if it's ever been fun. See, I'm the kind of guy I could literally drink that entire thing over there and barely feel it, so... It's like if
I'd be fucked. I'd be fucking passed out, dude.
When it comes to liquor, I'm very much like that. With beer, I'm a lightweight.
Yeah,
like
he is
a couple
very
beers and I'm shitty.
I was just saying a drinker.
But like liquor, I could drink. Yeah, I'm not a drinker. I'm a
Except
smoker.
at Josh's birthday at
Yeah,
the time.
it's just what it
dude.
is.
You were
I mean,
floating around.
no, I've been known to drink. I will drink. There's just I have to spread it out because I'm German Irish. And there's a lot of alcoholism in my family, a lot of it. So I have to regulate that.
See, it's a surprise
Let's
thing
stick
for
to
me.
smoking.
So.
I'll
I
just
have
chill
no
with
idea
that.
what I am, so I have no idea what my history is. So every time you open it up, it's like a surprise. What's going to happen today?
Yeah, I'm gonna go out on a limb and guess you at least got a little bit of Irish in you.
I have no idea.
Just going out on a limb. It might be the facial hair. I'm not sure.
See, I would go with Amish.
I mean,
Is that a race?
I don't think that's a, is that
Are they German?
Yeah.
I mean, they can
They
be.
came from German Midnight.
Dutch.
Dutch, German. Yeah.
So it's a thing.
I know, dude.
You're from the Midwest. You should know these things.
I mean, we had Amish, but you don't really
don't have
talk.
them around here.
You don't really
Closest thing
talk
we
to
got
the
is city
Amish.
folk.
Like,
Yeah, you gotta drive
You
pretty
don't-
far to run into some Amish.
Don't really talk to the Amish.
So, you said there are or aren't Amish here?
No. Not around here. No,
That's
you
what I
gotta.
was gonna say.
Ohio.
Yeah, you gotta get up in Ohio.
Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
I don't know about Jersey because that's a lot of farm country too. That could be there.
I mean, probably. There's a lot of farm country in New York and New Jersey. A lot of people don't realize that. They think New York City,
Well, see,
Manhattan,
I
you
got
know.
friends and family up there.
They don't
now.
realize that
State.
there's gorgeous
This is more country
countryside.
than
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's
Once
gorgeous
you
up
get
there.
past the border.
It's huge dairy farming.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I know. Decent. Oh, I don't know. I was at work, so they sent out one of my coworkers sent out some pictures of cattle, and I was sitting there. I was like, "Oh, you got yourself a Hereford and Angus right there." And I was like, "Oh, no one knows that." They're
cows.
Wait,
cows.
what?
They're cows.
We call them cows.
I know some give milk, some don't. And if you pull real hard on the ones that don't, you get a lot.
If they only have one thing hanging from their udder, they do not give milk. That is a fact.
You probably should.
Yeah, maybe he can milk them though.
I mean, I guess it technically could.
It goes from, different glands, so
Yeah,
Close enough.
probably not as tasty.
I would.
I don't know. I've never had it, so I can't. I don't want to sit here and speculate, you know?
Don't knock
This
until you
is-
try.
Right,
Right?
yeah. At some point, somewhere, someone pulled milk out of a cow and was like, "This is gonna be good."
Let's try that out.
So
That's a good point.
without those people.
Again, someone somewhere ate an oyster and went, "I wonder how this tastes."
Oh yeah.
So,
And they were like,
You want
"Oh,
an
that's
oyster
good."
crab?
Yeah, no,
have you seen one?
I don't like.
I've never had oysters.
I don't like them. They're.
Oh,
You ever had Rocky Mountain oysters?
I know
No.
what they are.
I know
Yeah.
they are. I have
I've
not had
those.
them. I think I would try that before an
Yeah.
actual oyster.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Have you ever had an oyster?
No, they look
No?
disgusting.
Like
Nothing
slimy,
about
aren't they?
snot
Look,
going down my throat
Grew up
sounds
towards the
appealing.
coast a lot, so.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's as nasty as it looks.
Oh, I'm
No
sure.
doubt. That's why
I don't know why people eat them.
People
And every
love
time
them
I have like multiple memories of my dad eating them,
raw.
followed by multiple memories of my dad being sick. So
yeah, I wonder
yeah,
why.
most likely from eating them. So I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been a big seafood fan anyway, so.
No,
you know,
I mean,
lobster's just a cockroach of the sea.
I've never had lobster.
It's
Never had
very
lobster.
it's
never
like
had crab. I've had
it's-
crab one time, and I think it was imitation crab,
Yeah, probably.
and it
Oh,
was
yeah.
terrible.
What's funny is
So,
I've actually heard if
crab
cooked
legs.
properly, imitation crab can sometimes taste better than real crab.
Yeah, it depends on the situation. No
It depends
doubt.
on who's cooking it.
Yeah.
But yeah, get you
And
a
the
good
butter.
crab leg boil with some garlic butter, dude. That is some good stuff. I like that better
I
than
have
lobster.
I have had like king crab legs with
There you
butter,
go.
and
Yeah,
that
snow
was
crab
pretty
legs,
tasty.
king crab
Yeah.
legs.
I watched my buddy work for we're Myrtle Beach Boardwalk.
Mm-hmm.
We're at some place, I don't know.
Right.
I was the soberest of us.
Joe's Crab Shack.
He is working on this crab for an hour. I mean, just we're all done eating. He's working for another half an hour. Just continue to work and work and work on this.
Right.
Much in there.
I'm like, you go for it, bro. You go.
Yeah, no, the legs though, man. That's where the meat is. Those are tasty. I could do popcorn shrimp or grilled shrimp, something like that, for sure.
Something fried.
For sure.
Some
Oh
fried.
yeah, if you fry it, I'm down.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I like fried seafood the least.
I-
Of the seafoods.
Right. I probably only
like-
like it because it's fried. Like it's like, all right, it masks.
Yeah.
Because when you fry it, it masks a
definitely
lot of that
changes the
fishy.
taste.
It's just breading.
You know, yeah.
Are we recording?
I mean, it is. I usually.
Oh.
I cut. I like to just randomly start at a point.
Okay.
So like a
Okay.
lot of times where we'll start is about like, probably like 10 minutes in
Right.
after recording. And he'll just like randomly like pick a start like this is where we're starting. All right, this makes sense.
Right on.
All right, so go ahead and introduce yourself, guys.
Ladies first.
Well, I do have the biggest breast in the room, so. Am I going by.
Did you play a show in a dress?
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
It was HB 2.5. 'cause It
Yes.
was halfway to Halloween, so it had to be a half theme.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole time with HB 2, so I was a man and a woman, was HB 2.5. I had a picture of pointing at the bathrooms. Which one do I go in?
Yeah, that was a good show.
It was. That's the one Jeremy played with us the whole show.
It was a good show.
Yeah, it was extinction level event.
Yeah.
I,
Mm, yeah.
who else was playing? Oh, Mecha Bull.
Mecha Bull. Yeah.
Mecha Bullshit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Mecha Bullshit. That's a 10 for it.
Anywho, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Oh, we haven't done that yet.
Yeah.
No,
let's
I
skip over
introduced-
that.
I was.
We got
Do I
distracted.
go by Shawn or do I go by the beard or do I go by Fat Brian? Which one do you want?
I would say Shawn.
You
I
would
mean,
say Shawn.
I don't think most of them know you as Fat Brian. Because not many people watch Front Row.
No. Well, I'm Shawn Sims.
And I would be Michael Stephenson on
Oh, he
Facebook.
used his real name.
But most people, I guess, know me as Alex or Alex Danger.
Where did that come from? What?
The Danger? Or
Yeah,
His
just
the
the
whole...
whole-
name.
So, I guess, like, the Danger part came, like, years ago. I was kind of looking for, I guess, a stage name, if you will.
Mhm.
And obviously, I couldn't give that to myself. Because, like, a good nickname or a stage name or something
kinda
is
comes,
kind of
yeah,
given to
yeah.
you. And then a friend of mine, Christina McCartney, she kind of, like, dubbed me Alex Danger. And it was like, damn, that just has a ring to it. And it stuck. And so, for a while on Facebook, I was Alex Danger.
Yeah.
And then I joined a heavy metal club,
Which shall not be named.
which shall not be named. 'Cause fuck them. we all had like our nicknames, and I guess that club gets targeted a lot because the founder and the leader of that club is, well, a fucking giant asshole.
Oh,
Just
okay.
to put it simply.
When you say a heavy metal club,
It's
international.
It's like an international heavy metal club.
in.
We wore vests. Like that's the.
oh,
Like it was a
I was
one step down from a gang.
I
We
was
weren't
just
gang.
about to say a biker gang,
No,
except
it's
for like
very
a level
much.
down.
It was it's set up very much like a motorcycle club, without the motorcycles, and it was really just built on the whole idea of support in the metal
Now,
scene,
before we go too far,
which I was huge into.
We still know a lot of people. I was never in there, just FYI. But there's some great people.
Yeah,
that are
no,
still part
that's
of
the
that.
thing. Like the club as a
wanna
whole,
preface that.
and the leader and some of those higher ups, I wouldn't piss on them if they were on fire. But a lot of the people that are in the club are great people. For a while, I was the president of the North Carolina chapter.
Okay.
At one point, we had 35 members in this chapter alone. And the whole idea was just supporting metal. And that's what we did. And at some point along the line, that whole idea got lost, which typically happens. And then it just turned into a whole lot of just bureaucratic bullshit.
I was about to say when something grows to a certain level is when the values are lost. And
it just got to a point where you were getting, you would have these people come up and want to join, and so we went through this whole prospecting period, if you will, and it's always said that it's like not for a set determined length of time. It's kind of like I had a council under me. I had we talked about everything. Everything was under a discussion, much like a band, where everybody had a vote. And I didn't like dictate shit. It was like, what do y'all think? And it was just kind of like I had the final say, if you will. And all it turned into was just a giant headache. And all I wanted to do was support music and the scene. That's it. So it was just kind of like, And then some crazy bullshit went down where I had the choice of backing up a friend of mine and a council member in my chapter, or blindly following the leader, which I was never good at because I always have that kind of leader mentality anyways. So that just wasn't going to happen. Because even running the North Carolina chapter, I ran it like a separate entity from the club. It was like we used the GMA name, but we weren't.
Oh, you said it.
We weren't GMA.
I
said GMA. I didn't say the name.
I mean, I'm pretty sure if anyone wanted to
they'll figure it out.
They could figure it out.
I'm not worried about it.
Funny more than anything.
The upside is they're not a gang, so I'm not scared. I'm scared out. But it was a whole thing. And then of course, when it all went down, pretty much the entire chapter went with me. Like it was, we decimated the chapter. A few stay behind, and no offense to them, they haven't done anything since. Like it just, they go to shows periodically, but that's about it.
Yeah.
And that's actually what started me with the Toys for Tots thing that I do every year now. So that's, some good came out of it for sure. But that's kind of how it all started. I went into this whole long story. But basically, they started getting, I guess, reported on Facebook, some of the higher ups. And so a lot of the members on Facebook were getting attacked because of our name by Facebook, shutting our accounts down until we verified our name. And because on my ID it says Michael Alexander Stephenson, they're like, this is your name. No one knows me by Michael at this point.
Well,
nobody. Like
they do now.
It was very few. At that point, I should say, very few people knew me by that name. It was mostly just like on paper at work kind of thing. So then I'm like contacting venues about booking my band or other bands, and they're like, who the fuck are you? Alex, it's Alexander. We've been talking for 3 years. It says Michael Stephenson. Who the fuck is that? It kind of screwed up a lot of stuff, but now I have 15 names. I don't know. It goes with my 15 personalities. So.
Straight up split. How's the let's promote this real quick. Danger in the Beard podcast.
Yeah,
check it out.
It's Tuesdays at 8 on Facebook.
It's perfect.
Yeah, and of course we're also on the Spotify and shit now, and Podomatic.
How is that whole? I know what
it's just one more thing.
Yeah. Well, what is?
Well, Podomatic is what
host it.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
what
okay.
allows us.
Okay, yeah,
It
yeah.
helps us
It was a
distribute.
cheap way.
It was a cheap way to help us distribute to Spotify, which
Yeah.
is where the
Most
two
people-
people that listened to it wanted it. So,
yeah.
it's like, oh yeah, sure, here you go.
You can always do. Do you guys do YouTube at all?
I mean, not with our show.
Okay.
Like the front row with Maniacal Music
Yeah,
that
yeah.
I do with Russell and Hannah, that's on YouTube.
Yeah, there's so many little things to talk about, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Oh,
I have one finger dipped in a little bit of everything that has to do with the singing.
so promo, guys, coming back.
Oh yeah, we've
Yeah.
already got the
Yeah.
show. Now.
Oh yeah, my birthday show.
Is
my
it 420?
my 420. Well,
That's not the date.
It's my 420
420,
month
ain't
old
no way.
party because
Okay.
I'm turning 35, which
Okay.
also happens to be 420 months old. So
okay. I got this.
and so, and because like we mentioned earlier, I'm a smoker, not a drinker. It just made sense.
It
Like
makes
you
sense,
only
it makes
turn
sense.
420 months old one time. Like it's only gonna happen once. So, and I threw a 30th birthday party for myself. Is that vain? Like to throw your own?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, but whatever.
Okay. Cool. All right.
You disguise.
I thought it was. I just wanted to make
You
sure.
disguise it well.
Okay.
How about
I
that?
tell
Thank you.
people to brag.
I mean,
all the
it's,
time.
You know.
All the time I say, dude, brag a little bit. It's fine.
People don't like.
Yeah. I don't know.
Better
I
when
guess.
other people brag on.
yeah. So what?
I was raised with that mentality, and I think that's why I try to stay away from it. Because like every way my pops tried to raise me is the exact. I'm basically just look at that diagram he drew, and then mirror it. And I've been doing pretty good so far. Yeah. Yeah. I just reversed it, and it's been going pretty good.
I tell people to brag.
Yeah.
I do my best not to brag about myself, so
Right.
I just want other people to brag about themselves. That's
Right.
what it
Brag
is.
about yourself a little bit, Tanner.
No,
Tell us a
I
little bit
won't.
about you. Yes,
I'm
please
Tanner.
do. You're Tanner.
Yeah.
I'm Tanner.
And you're Tanner than everybody else.
My
I
last name is
mean,
Brown. So the joke was, is he Tanner Brown?
Is he Tanner Brown?
One of my friends asked me that one time, and I was like,
Um,
yes.
yes.
And they're like, busting out laughing. I'm like, I don't get it. My name is Tanner Brown.
That is me.
Okay, so let's pick up where Jeremy left off.
Where did Jeremy leave off?
Uh,
Because he talked a whole bunch of stuff that podcast. I don't know which one.
So just like starting up promo and then him walking away.
Yeah, well, it's kind of weird how we even all got together. Because I was, and still consider myself, an absolute nobody. Nobody knew who I was.
Join the club.
And we had this band, I heard Jeremy mention it, called Burning the Veil. It was a 4-piece. I played and sang. But we were considering adding another guitar player, which would have been Adam, our drummer, which is Adam, the guitar player of promo, was going to come up and play guitar, so we wanted to find another drummer. I knew about him through a show that we had booked. The band that he was managing at the time, Soapbox Arson, was playing the show as well. And so we chit-chatted for about 2 seconds on Facebook. Here's a flyer, please share it, So, hi, how you doing? Kind of stuff. And so I knew he was a drummer, and I had seen him post like that week that he was looking for a project because the one he was in, Jazzed Up Hooligans, wasn't doing anything.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, he's a drummer. We need a drummer. So I hit him up. Hey, you want to come try out?
That was horrible.
Maybe.
That was like the worst
Yeah.
audition I'd ever had in my entire life. It was horrible.
But it led to great things.
It did. It did. Eventually, yeah. It like the whole thing felt wrong, anyways, for me.
It was rough from all the angles, not just from him, but from behind the scenes, just in the band itself. There was some stuff happening.
There was tension in that itty bitty storage unit.
10 by 10.
Okay.
You could
Yeah.
feel
Yeah.
it. Like
Yeah.
as soon as I walked in there, you could feel the tension. It was mostly from Steve.
Yeah,
That was his name.
that was his name. It still is,
so-
as far as I know.
Yeah, and it was tight. It was tight in there.
Did you?
So I was
Were you
nervous.
originally a drummer?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I played drums for.
He still considers himself a drummer that just plays bass.
Yeah, I'm a drummer
Well, yeah,
that plays
yeah, I mean,
bass.
okay.
Yeah.
But he tried out, did not go not necessarily even on him, but they just did not want to change the lineup at that time. So we're like, okay. So I was like, yeah, it's not going to work out. In order to keep this band rolling, they want to keep it a 4-piece the way it is. He's like, okay, cool, no problem. I was like, but hey, if you ever want to do anything down the road, let me know. He's like, well, just so happens this guy I know, Jeremy, which I knew Jeremy because we had played a metal fest with Attracting the Fall the first time he was in Attracting the Fall. And
that whole story.
And so we had already been talking some, just general chit chat, that kind of stuff. And he's like, me and Jeremy, we're looking for a guitar player and a singer for this thing. So we met. January 1st was the first time that we got together and practiced. January 1st.
You remember?
Because it was New Year's Day.
What year?
I don't even remember that.
2016.
Had to be 16, yeah.
Ish.
Had to be.
So, and as Jeremy said, we tried it with a 3-piece. It was doing okay, but it wasn't anything great. And by March, Burning the Veil had imploded on itself. And so we're like, all right, 2/4 or 2/3 of what's left of Burning the Veil is already in promo.
Mm-hmm.
Why are we, instead of just trying to find players for each of these bands, do we just make it one band?
Merge the band.
And that's what we did. And so a side project that nobody really thought much about turned into the main project for everybody.
And then Jeremy had mentioned that he was interested in playing guitar instead of bass. And,
I don't even remember.
And I had always wanted to play bass.
Okay.
It was kind of always a thing I wanted to do. Every time I ever picked one up, it just kind of felt right, and I could pluck it along with other stuff. So it's just like, okay, maybe. And really, a bass is a drum set with strings. Like, it's totally a percussion instrument.
Jeremy threw together a guitar rig.
I actually bought the rig for him. Because I just got my tax money.
I'm a left-handed
So I was
player.
like, I could buy, I'll buy the rig, you pay me back, And
I have one guitar that was a right-handed guitar. The rest of them were left-handed, and I had flipped it. So I'm like, well, I'll say this one, I'll flip it back. So he bought that guitar, which he later sold back to me for like $250, which he was... No, I sold it to him for $250. He sold it back to me for $50. He's like, I don't really want it. He was being very, very kind to me. Thank you, Jeremy. Because he knew that was the first guitar I'd ever bought. But, he played guitar for all of a few months. Alex jumped on bass. Josh came in on drums. And Adam started playing guitar from the drums of Burning the Veil. And I just started doing vocals. And then, of course, I think we know the rest.
And then that's when...
Jeremy
the thing
had
with
the opportunity
Kiss
to
the Curse come
which
up.
I encouraged him to do.
I actually saw when I saw the post. I think they made a post talking about a bassist or looking for bassists. And we pretty much we at that point already knew he was going to try out. Because it was inevitable.
Apparently he didn't know though.
Was it just like?
And so we
interested. Or?
Well, no, he was already best friends with those dudes.
Right, he was already friends with them. So it was like,
why don't you be in a band with him? You fit. Perfect.
Right, we definitely encouraged him.
We are old. We know we are old.
Yeah.
We do not play what the young whippersnappers want to hear. We understand this.
Yeah. Now, in my head, when I was encouraging him on my side, I didn't picture him leaving promo to do it. That wasn't something that I thought was going to happen.
That was a little bit of turbulence for a few people right there at the beginning.
That definitely got under my skin. When he did announce that he was going to leave, I was like, wait, skirt, pump the brakes. Can we go back and me not encourage you? Because I did not know this was going to happen. But on the flip side, it's, like, I don't want to be that guy. So I cold shouldered him for a little bit. Because, the type of attitude I have, the personality I have.
Danger.
Yeah, danger fits. Like, I can blow up. I have a short fuse. Well... I have a fast running fuse, right? It's not necessarily short, but once it gets lit, there's not much time.
Off the races,
So
I will say he's got a lot better over the last couple of years. I don't know if he switched strains of weed or what.
Just
it is.
Wiser in my old age, man.
Well, whatever it was, he's calmed down a lot.
Definitely just getting wiser. And I tell you, chasing the baby of the Russian mafia, as dubbed by your wife, my daughter Amy, and trying to keep up with her will humble you very quickly. So that, Yeah. So
30s happened.
So there was some. I was a little upset.
So
but we got over that.
We went
very
four
quick.
piece for a while. Josh on drums. I played and sang again. Adam playing guitar and Alex playing bass, and we did that for a year.
Almost
solid year because December, January is when we started.
Yeah, because that Toys for Tots that I did at Sweat was David's
initiation,
it was his audition.
Audition, yeah.
It was his first show with us and his audition, basically. It was
we had
if y'all like him, we'll like him.
We had practiced and auditioned with him twice as a band, but I don't think you were able to make it either time.
No.
So Alex hadn't even played.
And that's
with
the story
him.
of promo. You should understand the thing about promo is in the 3 years we've been a band.
We practiced three
we've
times.
Probably practiced and no joke. We've probably practiced maybe 20 times, and that's not an exaggeration.
God, that sounds so horrible.
We just
Hey,
don't.
We
just get so busy.
Well, no, it ain't even that.
It's
I got
really
three
not.
kids and a wife.
Yeah.
He's got 2 kids and a wife.
Yeah.
Adam's got a kid and a wife.
David's got
a business, 2 kids and a wife.
Yeah, so it's
Josh was the only one that didn't have an excuse. Then we practiced at his house, so he was there regardless of whether or not we were.
Which was a whole nother thing because that was an hour and 45-minute drive for me, and almost the same for David, give or take.
It was a good hour for him.
Okay,
it was a good hour. David lives in Fayetteville.
So that was rough.
So
that's always been rough and still is. Even right now, as we're preparing for our comeback, right now I think we have 1 practice under our belts, and we've yet to practice as a whole with our potential new guitarist, which we have yet to announce.
Well, no, it was announced on the last podcast.
Oh, okay.
Well, let's announce it again on this
that.
podcast.
Oh, Wade. So
Wade Harris.
As the story continues, picked up from last episode, Wade was going to practice with us the next day. Well, he did, and it was really good.
It's Wade.
Yeah, it's Wade.
Right.
Yeah, I would say we're pretty easy to get along with, and as far as playing goes, anyways, we don't have a whole lot of expectations. You have an instrument, you can play it. All right.
I mean, they let me stay in the band.
Exactly. He didn't even know how to play the bass, and he's playing shit.
He learned.
So.
I still can't count to 4 yet. 3 though. I got 3. I got 3.
He's a drummer. It's a good thing I write most songs in 3.
Drummers really just need to count to 2 and then repeat. Just saying.
Everything repeats after 1.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Wade has come in, and it worked great. And I don't know, should we?
I also missed that practice.
Yeah. Have you noticed a trend yet?
I mean,
it's well, I don't have to tell anybody with kids and shit. It's hard, and it's what it is finding that time where all of you are available. Because it's oh yeah, you see that meme. It's the perfect meme.
What do we want to do?
Practice.
When do we want to do it?
Monday.
Tuesday.
I can't. I'm available Saturday. Tuesday. What?
Later.
It's totally accurate. It's
for us.
At least for us.
Yeah.
99%
we just don't have that.
of all band arguments with promo come from trying to figure out practice.
Yeah.
I will guarantee you that's probably the biggest contributing factor to why we kind of broke up in the first place.
Oh, I guarantee it. It was a lot. Well, there's
arguing about freaking practice.
Yeah, exactly. And there was a lot of animosity between me and Adam. Me and him did not get along.
Well, so the whole story for that, if we want to go ahead and get into divulging, I'm the one that caused it. I'm the one that said, "Hey, I'm out. I'm done."
Yeah, no. The thing with me and Adam had really kind of nothing to do with the band breaking up, per se.
They were just going at each other like enemies.
It just got to a point, where we were going at each other a lot.
If y'all cannot figure this out and become mature adults with each other in a way that you can work together and make it happen, then I'm done. You can just find yourself a new vocalist or do whatever you want to do at this point, because I'm gone.
Yeah.
So.
And it's not like that we don't like each other. It's that we're mentally both very stubborn.
We're twins.
We're just bullheaded people, and so we butt heads a lot. But we work through all that.
We did,
as adults do. And again, I don't think that was really a contributing factor so much to the band breaking up as much as, like you said, just lack of practice. I mean, dude, if we can't get together and practice
the biggest contributing
every
factor
now and
to
then.
it getting back together is just sheer boredom.
Yeah, right.
I don't want to do something.
I'm tired of watching other people play.
How long were you guys like?
Our last show
broken
was a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah.
Fuck, it does not feel that long ago.
Last time
It was
we
at
all
Bob's.
shared the stage together. Yeah, it was at Bob's for that benefit I did for the special needs class for the local high school.
No, it was for
Yeah, that was it.
Was it?
That was it.
I thought we played one more time at Bob's for
Nope.
his cookout.
That was before.
Was it?
Yeah,
Oh.
it was in November.
That's
What?
right. Yeah. That's right. Wow.
Wait,
We
We
played
played-
because I'm
horribly.
trying to do the.
We played
I'm trying to
horribly that
create a
show.
We
timeline.
played the house show for St. Patty's Day with Hallow Point.
Yeah.
Booked them and almost tore
Okay.
his house for
Oh, at Brian's house. Oh,
Yes.
dude, we had that place looking insane.
If you stood at the back, see, they were set up in the living room. Everybody was standing in the kitchen, dining room. It was like one big room.
Mm-hmm.
If you were at the back door looking in, the floor was just going.
He was about to move out. Like,
There was nothing
Yeah.
in the house.
so there was like nothing in the house, and
Who is this?
Brian Mitch. He
Oh, okay, yeah,
from
yeah,
Meckable,
yeah.
or what?
Whatever.
No, I don't know what he's
Formerly,
doing now, but
well,
yeah.
yeah.
But originally it was going to be
At Bob's.
at Bob's.
But the weather turned on us.
But the weather turned,
Okay.
and the floor had gotten collapsed at that show.
The one with
Right.
Marcus or Fear the Indifference.
Discoveries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we had the option of all of us
Tearing the floor out.
tearing the floor out
doing it at Bob's.
and doing it at Bob's, or trying to find a different venue.
Yeah.
So we went from Smithfield, Selma, to Hillsboro.
Yeah, to Hillsboro.
In 2 days prior
Yeah.
to the show.
Just like that.
Adding a band at the last minute.
Yes. And what was
But it turned out to be a
it
phenomenal
turned out to be a
show.
great
Yeah.
show. I bought a keg. It was sky blue or some shit. It was horrible,
green.
but it was green. I had them diet green
Some
because it was St.
local
Patty's
brewery,
Day.
yeah.
I got it from Carolina Brewery. Woot woot! Shout out.
And
Not-
they killed that thing.
Broccoli's and Breakdowns not sponsored or affiliated with Carolina Brewery.
But they can be.
But they
if
can be.
want to.
This episode appropriately named Broccolis and Breakups.
Yeah, right. But yeah, so that show turned out to be phenomenal. Like, I mean, we turned this dude's living room into
The epic.
better than most
Stage.
venues I've
We
played
had
at.
Yeah.
a
Like,
giant
yeah.
sound system. We had lighting.
yeah, it was
And Hollow
fucking
Point brought their own lighting that was
Yeah.
run from their MIDI, so it was like calculated with all their music and
Yeah.
everything. Their banner covered the entire living room wall
Yeah,
from side to side.
I couldn't believe it. Yeah,
It was crazy.
it was straight out of a
That was their
movie.
first house show. So at the end, I was like, "So did you enjoy yourself?" I was like, "That was everything we ever wanted it to be."
Right. It could not have gone better. Everybody was having a great time. I had some edibles that I just started like making, so I was like passing those out.
Allegedly.
No, not
Allegedly.
allegedly. I'm not scared. I ain't scared.
Hey,
Where is Hollow Point from?
St. Louis.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they just hit you up randomly because they were in between shows and they just wanted somewhere to
That's
play.
fucking
Yeah, they
awesome.
were. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's exactly it. They had a date open
They
that they
probably
needed
made a couple
filled, and it was kind of like,
$100
okay.
just in merch sales from the bands that played.
Oh yeah,
that night.
Yeah.
absolutely. Everybody. I mean, just about everybody left with some Hollow
Yeah.
Point merch. Like, it definitely was worth their while.
Afterwards, they were drunk and Brian cooked them spaghetti in the living room.
Yeah, yeah. And it was funny as I mean, like in true rock star fashion, they were up at like 6 o'clock in the
God.
morning
Ready
and
to
back on
go.
the fucking road.
But-
Let's go.
That was a
Like-
crazy time because somebody walked out at like 2 o'clock in the morning. Russell had his truck cranked up and he was slumped over
Yeah, he was.
with his knees outside, laying on the driver's seat, passed out drunk.
Yes.
Just, who knows how long he had been out there.
Car was cranked and everything. Like,
Brian's like waking him up. He's like, "Hey, bro, you want some spaghetti?" Yeah, I want some spaghetti.
like he was about to leave and just didn't quite make it. Thankfully.
Nowhere, yeah, exactly.
Seriously.
I was never more nervous to drive after that show because a few of us went to Waffle House. And it's St. Patty's Day, so the police
Yeah.
are out
Oh,
like
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
It's 2 o'clock in the morning. We're leaving Waffle House. My tag has been expired for like a year and a half on the car I had at that
Riding
point.
dirty. I am
got
right now.
Band gear like stacked up in my car, so they know I'm like a target. I got As I'm pulling out, there's 3 police cars in front of me and 2 behind me. So I'm like, oh, crap. So I pull into the closest gas station. Wouldn't you know it, that's where they were staging everything at. There were 10 police cars sitting in the gas station. So I slowly pull up to a pump, get $2 in gas to get back in the car, slowly pull back out.
God, at least you don't smoke weed, dude. Can you imagine if you were stoned? Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god.
I would have just walked up to him.
Oh my
like,
god.
Take me now.
What's this guy doing? I have weed.
I made it home. No
Here's the weed.
And I never drove that car again. It still sits in my driveway from that night.
Damn.
So that was the last show.
No, that was the show before.
Last show.
Technically, that was like the last actual legitimate show.
And we actually sounded and played really good that night.
Yeah, the next one,
we were on it that
Josh
night.
had already left the band, and he was coming back in to help us out for that one show. We hadn't practiced at all. It was a disaster.
It was.
Of a show.
We sounded horrible.
I jumped into the kiddie pool halfway through the set because it was 95,000 degrees in the middle of May.
Scorching.
May of all time. It was literally 98 degrees.
The bands all day were up there just roasting.
Where was this?
Was
that Bob's?
Yeah.
I was gonna say it was probably at Bob's.
There was no cover.
I mean, it was a huge success. We raised over $2,000 for the charity, but
that's awesome.
It was.
We played
horrible.
2 shows with them. There this last summer.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was at one point. I'm just like sitting there. I'm like, I think I'm about to have a heat stroke.
Yeah.
Like, fuck it, let's keep playing.
Pretty much. Yeah. Pretty fucking much. I even went down that damn slide. The inflated. Yeah.
We had a giant slide with a pool at the bottom.
We got it. I had called around.
Kids could have cared because it was supposed to be a show for like kids to come to because I was like, they never get to go to shows.
Yeah.
So let's do one for them. We made it a charity, raised some money for the special needs program.
Yep.
But we had these giant inflatables, and one of them had a pool. And so they could have cared less about anything else that day except that one thing.
And that was donated, too. Well, not entirely. Yeah, most of it. They gave us a really good deal on that.
The donations for that thing were off the chain. My wife worked hard.
She killed it, yeah.
Tough.
She killed it.
I mean, it was like, we had so many prizes, we had a hard time giving away the raffles because we had raffles in between every band, and it was like 20.
It was almost too many, like that, because people were just so generous. Like once they found out what it was about, they were just give, you know.
So much so it was such a success. I mean, we're all on the local band level, right? You know, we don't get asked to do a lot. We usually have to beg to do anything. It was such a success. The high school has asked us to do it at the school this year.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're making a giant community event out of it, and they're getting us to do it.
That is awesome. In Selma?
No, in 4042. So West Johnson. Clayton-ish.
Clayton-ish. Okay. That works. Yeah, I don't know anything about this area. I've been here for like 3 years. I don't know shit. That is awesome.
Yeah. So.
Do we have any like? Is there anything
in the fall? It's going to be
in the fall. Okay.
I've contacted a few bands. We're definitely in the planning stages because the school, being that they are involved, if you've done anything with the public school system, you know how slow.
Everything is turtle speed.
But when, all said and done with the way we're talking about it right now, it'll be at the actual high school. All the feeder schools that are for that high school, say like the middle school that goes to that high school, the elementary schools that go to that high school, all of them are going to be encouraged to be involved and come. Yes, and they're going to do different things for the community as well. Yeah. But, we're going to be putting on a rock metal show.
Yeah. That is
cool.
Same as it was at Bob's, but just a bigger scale. They haven't
put any clamps on what we do as far as what we do. They just want more added to it, if possible, from their end.
Sure.
So.
That is, because I'm thinking about like when I was in school, there was nothing like that. I would 100% go and support that. Like,
hopefully, that's what we're going for. Being at the school,
I had the same thought.
We
didn't do anything like that.
Yeah, it's like we're not even going to charge admission. We charged $5 admission last time, and 99% of the money came from the actual raffle sales. So we're like, screw the admission.
But it was just for adults, though. We didn't charge the kids.
That's true.
Just
we didn't charge for kids.
The kids didn't get charged, but.
And so this time we're like, everybody come, buy tons of raffle tickets. That's what we're going to
Yeah, yeah, and admission really just was pointless.
Anyways.
Really.
But that was the last show that Promo played. We did one song.
Good last show, I guess.
Nova Mortis got us up on stage one time after that during the summer, but David wasn't even there, so Tommy filled in on guitar.
Oh, yeah, I remember that
Tommy was
at the
gonna
Maywood.
fill in for the last Toys for Tots show, not this past year, but the year before.
Yeah.
Because David thought he wouldn't be able to make it, so he knew our songs.
And what's funny is that went so well that Robbie actually pulled me off. Like, he was like,
"Oh, I hadn't
he
heard
goes,
this.
was that planned? Y'all planned that, didn't you?" And I was like, "No, that was like totally impromptu." But it went so well and sounded good. It was like,
it went okay.
I thought it went great.
Okay.
Maybe I was just high from playing. Like,
Probably
just
were.
the fact that I go on stage.
There was definitely not a. I mean, it was fun as shit, but you know.
We played Sour Nothings, I think, didn't we?
Nothings,
Yeah. That was good. That seems to be the fan favorite.
Tommy's
At least
great.
Tommy's
great. Okay, so that was about a year ago.
Yep.
When you guys were coming back together? How was that whole thing?
Hey, me and Alex are going to keep going. Does anybody else want to come? Well, we want to sit down and talk. That never happened. We're going to practice on this day. Okay, we'll be there.
Oh, this is Nick, everybody.
Hey,
What's up,
Nick.
bud?
Hey,
everybody.
Do you want to check the levels? Make sure we're good.
Yeah, that whole. Honestly, it's been going pretty similar to the way it was when it ended.
Oh,
I'll be completely honest.
As far as communication.
Yeah, it's true promo fashion. We're gonna be
do as little as possible.
We're gonna
talk as
be ill
much as
prepared
possible.
probably for the show, but we're probably still gonna go up there and kill it.
yeah.
So I'm
As
stoked.
much as we ever have.
We've got some new stuff,
Yeah,
that
we
we'll be
actually have
playing.
some new songs that we're going to be playing.
so that I'm excited about that.
I'm gonna jump back a little bit.
Go backwards.
Yeah.
How was recording with Edward?
Oh,
Interesting.
Because that was his first.
That was
Like-
very interesting because we had set out. That was probably one of the most irritated situations I had ever been with the band, because Josh and Adam had taken on the responsibility of recording.
we almost broke up like 10 times in a 6-month span working on that
No surprise.
EP. Yeah.
Mhm.
But I had gone to track guitars with David at Adam's house twice. I had gone and actually recorded all the vocals already at Adam's house. So I had made like 4 trips just to record something. Not one bit of that was used. So I'm like, he's like, I'm just going to give it all to Edward. I talked to Edward. Edward wants to do it. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
I've wasted 4 days doing this because you said you could do it. And so I was pissed. He knew I was pissed. But then I actually got to record with Edward. And it was like one of the best experiences ever recording.
Mhm.
And then the product came out, which Edward said he's wanting to redo it. Because he could do it better. But I'm like, dude, that was way beyond what I thought was going to come out.
Yeah, that end product, it was
It was like Sour Nothings.
well beyond what we expected.
Yeah.
The recorded version of Sour Nothings was vocally the first time I'd ever been happy and impressed with what I did on a recorded project. You know, I had made with another band an entire CD before, which I wasn't the main vocalist. But it's like, yeah, this sucked. And we've done a couple single songs. It's like, yeah, this sucked. You know, the experience wise. And then we record with Edward and they hear it, it's like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So as far as recording with Edward, it was really cool. But we had already announced the EP release show in May.
Yeah.
It was a May date.
Yeah, everything was set.
We didn't even start recording with Edward till the last week of February or middle of March
was
or
mid-
something
yeah.
like that.
Just
So he had
rushed.
like a
Just
month and a
rushed,
half
yeah.
to record an entire band, vocals, mix it, us get it to a mastering
Yeah.
person, and
With
get
a
it
band that
back
has trouble getting all of us
in the
same
day.
room,
Yeah.
at much less scheduled to record.
Luckily,
At some point, someone just has to make the decision. It's like,
David,
what
luckily
we're doing.
the tracks he recorded, unfortunate as it was, Adam tone printed them because that's just the way we were doing it. So we didn't know we were going to be using a different method. We got David's guitars from what Adam recorded is what is on the album.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Okay.
Edward did what he could mixing it in.
And that's one of the things Edward wants to change.
He wants to
second time
retrack
around.
David's stuff,
Yeah.
if possible, and David's down for it. So we'll see.
So hopefully
the mad scientist is working on it.
A re-release. We'll either re-release it or we'll hold on to them and record some more and maybe do a full length in 10 years.
I mean, I have all matches. We'll just re-release it.
Probably, but you know,
Be a fun little thing.
a
to
girl
do
can
for your
dream,
420
right?
Show.
I'm just saying. Oh man,
I
no!
can guarantee
I can tell you one
nothing
thing.
new will be recorded before that show.
Yeah, one thing I can tell you, no matter what happens, is there will never be a set date for anything until it's in our hand.
Yeah.
So if we go to record, we're not. Yeah, we're not gonna. Because one
of the reasons we broke up.
When we set that date, though, it was like so far out. It was completely
There's
possible
no way we won't be able to
times
get
10.
this.
You know, and then it was just how it goes. It's like you get closer and closer.
We even did
All right,
not-
guys, we only got 6 months.
We
We only got
stopped
4 months.
booking
We only got
shows.
2 months. We have a problem.
We got 10 days.
Yeah, and it was like, we've got 2 months left, and we're completely starting over with somebody new.
The EP release show was May something.
12th.
12th.
Mm-hmm.
April 21st, I'm just hearing the completed recording. Not mixed, not mastered, but April 21st is like all the stuff together in one place. So if you can imagine from April 21st to May 12th, literally we got it back from the... We were uploading it the same day we got it back.
6 p.m. May 11th is when we got the mastered complete tracks for this EP. And so now me and my wife have less than right at 24 hours to
upload it,
make 50 CDs.
Yeah,
because we did this.
You just individually burned
Well,
them.
because
we
we were
did-
just going to release it digitally, no
Yeah.
charge, just
Yeah.
put it out there. But for the CD release show, we wanted to have something to hand to
We were
people.
like, we're gonna give the first 50 people in the
That
door are
pay
gonna
through
get
the
a
door.
hard copy,
And we had
we didn't go extravagant with it, right?
We were good, but-
Yeah, I mean, I found this company that would print us basically
Like
a
sticker.
sticker that would cover the whole CD, right?
Yeah.
And so it still looked official. And then I bought these like super cheap, thin, multicolored jewel cases. Like I think all together we had like maybe $45 in all this, right? But
That's not bad.
still,
That's
me and
not
my
bad.
wife have to burn and get these stickers perfectly,
and upload it to
and get it uploaded to
DistroKid.
DistroKid.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it'll be everywhere else. Which
Oh
I think,
man,
I think we uploaded was Bandcamp was separate, and that's
Yeah.
what we were pushing everybody.
that's
to
what
go
we
to.
pushed at first because obviously with DistroKid it takes time.
takes a
The
couple-
craziest
yeah.
part of all this, though, out of an album that cost us a grand total, actually money out of pocket of less than $100 to make, we made money.
Yeah, we
from
pulled a
people
profit.
buying
Yeah.
it off of Bandcamp,
And that-
we
Yeah.
gave it away.
That
for
was the
free.
greatest thing. It was totally set. So all you had to do was just hit 0 and get it for free.
But people were
But
donating
people
$10,
were
$20.
donating money, and that blew us away.
Yeah, we
and
were
the
like,
fact that
"Holy
we
crap."
made money off of this,
Not a lot.
a
Well, we
lot
made
or a
money.
little, we made money off of it, and that blew me away. Even though it was,
We probably should give
Only
some of
a
that
little.
to Edward now, thinking about it.
You can
I
pay him
mean,
for the
we
music.
probably will.
Because he did it for free. He did the whole
When
thing
he
for free.
Yeah, the whole
redoes
thing.
it,
The only
fam.
thing I think Adam paid for the mastering, which was, in my opinion.
Well,
Oh, okay.
But
shout out to Shawn. He's a
I mean,
good
no,
dude.
don't get me wrong. Now the dude, he had a time crunch.
Of 24
yeah.
hours, I
And
think.
no, he had
I
more
don't
than that.
know.
Yeah,
I don't
no.
know.
I think he
I'm
had it for
exaggerating.
like 2 weeks.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he did.
I guarantee you he didn't. Because the 21st, I'm still listening to raw cut tracks, no mixing or anything from Edward. Edward took a good week to mix it.
Right, which
And
would
then
have
he
put
got
it.
it to Shawn. So he probably had
So
a
he
week
had
or less.
he had right at 2 weeks because right at the 21st is when we heard it. Then Edward took another week, which put it right around the 28th or so of April, and that was about the time Shawn got it. So it was close to 2 weeks.
Something.
Who is
It's close.
Shawn?
Sean Bruno is the guy
He is the
that mastered.
guy behind Needle Mouse. He has his own recording
Mm-hmm.
studio with his brother in Raleigh. Shotgun Studio?
I don't know.
Crap. I can look it up.
It's on the
real quick. I'll
post,
look it up
yeah.
real quick just so I can get it out
Just to
there
give him a
quickly.
shout out. Yeah, I don't want it to seem like I'm like knocking the dude.
No.
It just was because of the rush job we put
time.
on him.
Yeah.
You know, we got I mean, we
You
got
get what you
right.
You get what you get.
Shotgun Blues Studio.
and it was still. I mean, it still blew us away. It's just
It could, yeah.
It could have
more
been
time.
better. Yeah.
Yeah,
And that was our fault. We know that because
Released.
we had
May
Edward
13,
falling our lap so close to the
2017.
release date, and it was like we can keep doing what we're
Yeah,
doing,
'cause
but
we-
we're really not that far along anyways
Honestly,
at this point.
we thought Edward was just going to help us out with tracking the drums because that was our biggest hurdle at the time. Adam could only do electric drums. We wanted real drum or a better. Josh was having trouble with the electric drum kit, I believe. I'm not. God, I could be getting this completely wrong. So Adam reached out to Edward, and next thing we knew, Edward's like, "Well, why don't I just do all of it?" We're like, all of it?
Everyone's like, yeah.
Well, no,
yes,
we're
yes,
like,
please, yes.
We were apprehensive
Yes, no.
because it's like, do we have the time?
We've already got
Okay,
this
yeah.
done. We really need this done. And then Adam's like, I can't do it. Just putting it out there. I can't do it.
Yeah, and then, once he said that, it was like, all right, so
We got to do
we
something.
kind of have no choice because also Robbie had hit me up like 2 months or right before we announced the show.
Yeah,
and
that's
asked
right.
if
Because we'd already had, through all this time, there was like their second show ever.
yeah.
And Attracting the Fall, which is crazy to think those two bands would ever play with us. And then...
We're fucking awesome, okay? They fucking love us.
We're radio butt rock for dads.
No,
I mean,
no,
let's be honest.
No, as far as genres go, we definitely don't mix.
But yeah, Robbie hit us up. I'm sorry.
But what's
Continue.
funny is those same two bands are playing our comeback show.
Killing the cat.
Oh, that's right. Through all this time, couldn't do it because Josh, I think, was getting his kid or something that weekend. But anyways,
Josh was getting
But
his
Robbie
kid.
hit you up right
Yeah.
before we announced the show.
Robbie hit me up wanting to know Lydia Can't Breathe was coming around. Wanted to know if they
This
could.
is, if anybody knows, is a pretty big regional act out
Yeah,
in
they're
Florida.
kind of a big deal.
They're better than us.
No, that's what I said. Well, I didn't want to be like, oh, they're fucking huge because they're not, but they're definitely.
They're
Definitely,
playing Middle in the Mountains.
and they're getting
I mean,
bigger and
they
bigger.
play all
They're all over the place.
And they're amazing.
They are.
They
They were
stage
really,
show.
really good.
Like this
Yeah.
tour, they were all dressed up in Star Wars. They had a complete Star Wars
Yeah.
set with a lightsaber battle.
I mean,
and
yeah, they did a
everything.
battle and everything. It was pretty cool. The
was
downside was everyone.
Oh, should we?
And I mean,
should we get into legging?
I mean, almost everyone left after promo got done. So there
Well,
was almost
the only
no one there
band
for
left
Lydia Can't
after
Breathe.
us was Lydia Can't Breathe, though.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
But not everybody almost left. I mean, there was
Almost
a good
everyone.
amount of people that came for them.
Damn, there was like fucking 10 people.
Well, I'll tell you what, there's
You know
people
what?
I've never seen
I
their show
played-
before, never seen our show
Now, don't get me
since.
wrong. The ones that saw it
I played plenty of
enjoyed
shows
it.
to 5
They
people.
all watched
so you know
it.
what?
Yeah.
Haven't we all?
And then they made the fucking peanut butter sandwich on that dude's bald ass, sweaty
Right,
fucking head.
Yes.
Oh, and then somebody ate it.
Laying on the stage, somebody dropped it and walked up and ate it.
Oh,
But,
that was nasty.
all right,
Fuck.
leading up to
What
all
the
of this shit that we've got going on in this time, Alex puts out a post with this during the time Donald Trump had just been elected.
Right,
And he's
right.
signing all these executive orders, and he's taking a picture of every executive order he has. And so there's a stock picture of him holding up this book like this, right? So Alex puts our flyer on it. And it says, I think it should be illegal for all guys to be arrested that are wearing leggings. Something stupid.
Right.
Just stupid. Well, he got into this battle with this girl out of Charlotte, this big promoter, whose boyfriend had just played a show at the Maywood wearing leggings.
Completely unrelated.
We're like-
Yeah.
What made the post, swear to God, I was working at another complex and I saw this very large man, would make Shawn look small,
That's
wearing very small leggings while running. Now, I'm not knocking the dude for working out. He's trying to better himself, but the leggings
The
were
leggings.
a no-no.
At least throw a pair of shorts over the leggings. That's all I ask.
I'm
Throw
saying,
some shorts
no
over it.
snuggles,
This was
thank
just
you.
something,
bad.
like-
And so that's what kind of motivated the post. And
That's fair. That's fair.
if you know me well enough, especially gets close to her show, I start posting more controversial
He
stuff.
posts
Yeah.
shit
Because-
to get people
Because that's how
back-
Facebook
people talking,
algorithms
yeah.
work.
Yeah.
It gets people going,
Well-
and then a couple posts later, I'll make something
Wow.
about the band, and it actually gets.
This freaking post went international.
Oh, it got huge.
The
Yeah. Yeah.
People from all over the country were commenting,
Yeah.
just downing Alex because he's bashing
Oh, yeah.
this girl.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I was just this horrible
People were
person.
messaging him. People were coming out of the woodwork.
They're like messaging you. You're sending them invites
It
to
was
promo.
fucking great. Oh,
That's
dude,
what I would do.
I'm shameless promotion.
Yeah.
Dude, I was
At the time,
on
I'm
chat.
sitting there like, oh, what are you doing? You fucking idiot!
It was so great.
And he's like, this is the best promotion we've ever done,
And
bro.
it fucking was. It was. Because there's no such thing as bad publicity at all.
Never playing in Charlotte, ever.
Probably not.
And
Oh,
probably never.
At least not for her.
It's been a while.
Which is okay. She's out of the game now. Pretty
No, I was
much,
gonna say,
so
do we
it
wanna
doesn't
shout
even
out?
matter.
Nobody likes
What was it?
her.
I think Jessie Rogers or
Oh,
something on that her
I'm
name.
not even giving her the time to mention her name.
But either way, it was. She took it very personally.
Yeah.
Her boyfriend took it personally.
Anyway,
Yeah, they've broken up, and the band is broken up.
He
Like they're
was
not
in
even.
His band. Holy crap! Sounded like goats
They were horrible.
getting it on in the back of a hay wagon with operatic music or something. I don't even know what they were doing.
You could tell they were talented musicians, but what
You
they were
could?
making together.
Yeah.
Well, no, like you could tell they could play their instruments, right? But just what they were creating was just not cool.
And we're not one to knock bands. I mean,
Right.
God, we can barely get up there and play ourselves.
Totally, but I mean, it is what it is. And so, yeah, we started this whole Legging Gate 2017. And I bring it up every year.
Still
every
comes up.
year.
People are posting about that,
Oh,
like
yeah.
when it comes a year around.
It was fantastic.
It was
It went 20 times
Alright,
better than
so
I could have
somebody
ever
ended up
expected it to go.
reporting her for harassment, and
Yeah.
the post got taken down from her side. And
Not I, by the way.
Alex had it. No, we still don't know.
Yeah,
who
we still have
reported
no
it.
idea.
So the next day, he had to do a damage control thing because apparently somebody was messaging you. Because Lydia Can't Breathe was playing the show. Well, they know all these people that are talking about this
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
And
Right.
It's like
It's turning into a bigger thing.
now it is going bad, right?
Yeah.
And we have to do something about it. So he put a post out there, and it slowly kind of just faded off into obscurity.
Yeah.
But you never forget Legging Gate.
I would
2017.
100%. I don't even know if I could do a damage control post that isn't sarcasm. I would just be like, I'm sorry if I offended anyone,
Well, we
any
already
man
done
who
that.
was like...
Just to be clear, I never apologized for that and
Okay.
never will.
Okay.
That was not the damage control was mostly so that people knew that Lydia Can't Breathe had absolutely nothing to do with that.
okay, yeah.
Because we didn't want to damage them or the other bands playing with
apparently
us.
What it really sparked it off was the day before. She had put a post up about bands and their crappy flyers. Well, apparently it was about us.
Yeah, she had made a post about how we had like this headliner like Lydia Can't Breathe, but our logo and our information was bigger on the flyer.
It was our EP release
But it was
show
our
that they were
EP
tacked
release
on
show.
to.
Yeah.
Because I'd
Yeah.
already set the show up. So it was
And
our
it
day,
wasn't-
our show, and we were like, yeah, we can have them
It
headline.
wasn't that we were top billing
And
it,
it's-
but we
yeah.
had a picture of the CD
Right.
and all this stuff on there, so it looked like
And if you honestly sat there and measured out,
Size.
square inch of flyer, I would say
So
that their
she was
logo actually took up more space than
already
ours,
perturbed
but we
it
also
for
had
some weird reason.
the cover, right?
And so the next day, he puts out Legging Gate, and she just assumes that it's about her,
Right.
her boyfriend. We're like,
And you're like, hey, no one knows who the fuck you
Yeah,
are.
like, who the
or
fuck
your
are you?
boyfriend.
Right. And they even
especially your boyfriend.
yeah,
Nobody knew who
and they
he
even
was.
tried in like on their own pages to like, hey, this fucking guy, this
Yeah.
douchebag, blah blah, and of course, like their close friends hopped on the bandwagon without knowing anything, which just made me feel better because I'm not afraid to promote the band at all. I was on
called
chat
promo
with
for a
fucking
reason.
with Spectrum the other night, and when we got done, I was like, hey, if you get a second, go to promonc.bandcamp.com and check us out. And he was like, I absolutely will.
I would not be
Like-
surprised if Alex has gone on Pornhub and promoted the EP at some point.
Fuck with me, and our lyric video that we're having made for Sour Nothings will be on Pornhub. Fuck with me, and I'll put it up there. I swear I will.
I'll check.
I'll put it on there. We'll probably get more views for that. There's a guy on Pornhub that does videos of like he's like helping you go to sleep after you masturbate, and he's like putting a pillow under his friend, like there's no nudity in it. He's getting millions of views and getting paid for this. Like he's like, oh, just doing some cleanup, like
No joke. Wheeler Walker Jr. I don't know if you ever heard of him.
No,
Country artist, but like all of his songs are about like. I mean, one of his songs is like called "All the Pussy You Will Slay."
Right.
It's like country, but it's
Hank Williams Jr. kind of stuff.
That would be the only thing that would stop me from wanting to post to Pornhub, because we do. One thing that we use to help push our band is the fact that there's zero cuss words.
Family friendly. I mean,
it's you can bring your kids to hear us, and you can put the CD in while you're driving around without worrying about them hearing the word fuck.
A porn website might.
So that might kind of.
I was saying that jokingly. This is going way further than what
He's saying it jokingly. I've been considering it for like 2 years.
I say it jokingly, but still would not be surprised.
I even talked to Rachel and Tommy from Nova Mortis about Nova Mortis putting one of their videos on there.
Yeah, we talked
when I was on the way to Wilmington with them to shoot the music video. Because my ugly face is in there. Why? I don't know. I thought they were trying to make a good video, but whatever.
It's because they needed some ugly, man. They said that. They needed an old guy.
They needed my crazy eyes. Because I'm
still don't know why they got you for the old guy. But
why not? Fucking old. And I'm ugly. It's perfect. And I'm crazy.
We're probably some of the oldest people within our group of bands that we play with.
I had mentioned on the way to Wilmington to them that, like, a band should do that. So it was... Yeah. I've definitely been thinking about it.
We've been talking way too much. You say something.
No.
That's what we're here for, right?
This is all about you guys.
I'm normally on that side. This is totally different. I'm normally the guy over there, like, asking the questions and pushing the conversations. This is kind of a...
This is all about you guys.
You definitely got the right dudes. We like to talk, especially me.
You see, it's perfect.
Get me stoned. I'm good.
Okay, so we got a promo show coming up. We got anything else?
And that promo show is June.
Oh yeah, definitely dates.
June something.
12th.
At the Maywood.
I booked it. I should know.
It's your birthday.
It's at the Maywood.
No,
right?
My birthday's on the 17th.
Yeah, it is at the Maywood. Okay. It's Attracting the Fall, Killing the Catalyst.
It's the Friday, the 14th.
Kiff.
Yeah.
Kiss cover band?
No.
Okay.
Knowledge is for Fools. They got a ton of albums out.
Yeah,
stuff. They get a huge show at the Maywood every Christmas.
They do a huge show.
Kiffmas.
And that's one of the reasons they're headlining, because they trash the stage, like, on purpose. Like, they got pyrotechnics. There's like fucking vinyl records they're breaking and shit. Like,
it's like no one's going after.
They're
them.
A great band, yeah. But like when I was setting up the show, it was like, number one, I have to try to get some of like my closest dudes, right? Like that was number one. But also number two, I wanted a diverse lineup. I didn't want a show of dad rock bands. And that's kind of how I always book all my shows anyways. Since I started Maniacal Music like fucking 6-7 years ago, that's always been my goal. Number one, pay the bands. Number two, diversity.
Well, you got one or two.
I pay the bands when I get paid, you know. If the show makes money, the bands make the money.
To pay the bands.
Right.
Sorry.
But that's the thing. Like a lot of the shows I was putting on, I was able to pay the bands. Like I didn't... Okay. I never did pay to play, never did ticket sales, but I also never had like any big names come in. It was just I put on some really solid local shows, and there was a lot of times where I actually was able to fucking hand the bands $50, $60, $70.
Yeah, and
that was like the whole reason I started Maniacal Music in the first place. Mainly because of people like fucking Johnny Nethercutt and Cut Promotions or something like that, where he was like literally ripping people off, right? Like literally.
Allegedly.
Fuck no, allegedly.
Allegedly.
Fuck no, allegedly.
Allegedly.
Fuck no. So and that I mean.
Johnny,
I've always had a problem with that.
Johnny, I got no beef with you.
Johnny knows I have beef with him. What's funny is me and Johnny, at least once every 6 months, have a conversation on Facebook Messenger about that. Like, when he has a decent band come in, he always hits me up. Because he either knows that, like... even to this day.
We haven't done anything in forever.
Right, but no, he still hits me up because if you would let me finish.
I don't want
because either my band might be interested or I'll know some bands. Or I can push and, you know... Yeah. And here's my thing about people like that is, unfortunately, it's unnecessary evil, right? For lesser known bands to play to a potentially decent crowd, you kind of have to go down that that route. It's so, as much as I hate the fact that it's a thing, and Johnny knows that I've never been a fan of him. We've never been a fan of each other, but that's what made me create Maniacal Music, because it was like, I'm going to do the exact fucking opposite. I'm going to pay for the venue, and if we have enough people to come back to give me my money back, great. Anything over that goes to the bands and always will. And then I kind of did this thing where if they drove more than 2 hours, they got a higher percentage than the other bands, but it's just kind of how it should have been.
Just covering, I mean, if you're local, like, you're not covering gas money at that point.
Right, right. I just wanted the bands to go home with some money, which seemed to be,
for us,
fewer and further between than it should have been.
We know record label is never going to be an option. Let's just be honest. We got families, we got kids. We're not going to tour like that.
Even if it was, I don't think any of us would sign.
We just do it because
I wouldn't sign my soul to the devil like that.
And more power to the ones that want to make it happen.
Yeah.
I mean,
we just want to make music. Like, I used to say, I still say this to the day, like, I used to get high in order to get on stage and play music, and now I get on stage and play music to get high.
Yeah.
And so now it's one of those things that I could never stop. Like, I always go through those, those moments of self-doubt and anxiety, and I'm not fucking good enough, and, I'm tired of playing with this.
Oh, God, that's constant.
I'm tired of these. I'm tired of supporting these people, and these people not supporting me, et cetera, et cetera.
It's like the artist curse. You're never good enough.
Never good enough. So obviously I go through those moments, and it's like, why?
You're too old. Nobody cares.
I should just stop doing this and focus on my kids 100%.
Yeah.
But, like, honestly, I don't even think my wife would let me stop playing music. Like,
I would.
I legit think she would.
Not that she minds me doing it.
You say that?
She's the best in the world with letting me do it.
When promo broke up,
she started a freaking petition.
She started a petition to get us back together.
Not knowing
so
that
you
I'm
say
the one that caused it.
Right. Yeah.
So you
say that, but I think I don't.
Yeah, but let's be honest. The whole reason she did that is because I was being pissy at the house, and she was just tired of me being there.
That's possible. That's very possible.
Go do something.
Dude, come on, do something.
So let's we started talking about Maniacal Music. Let's go into that a little bit. How did that whole? You mentioned why you started it.
Yeah.
How did it all start?
This predates me, so
it started as a podcast on Spreaker. That's how it started.
I don't know what we were going for there.
I was gonna do a turkey.
For those of you playing the at-home game,
I was gonna do the turkey to you, but then you opened your hand up.
That was
so
the most awkward high five fist bump I've ever seen.
It really was. Like, I had the perfect opportunity to turkey him, but he fucked it up.
Well, like I went for like a fist bump, but I did a fist bump like this. I was like, I guess we're doing this.
Yeah, so I've never seen power.
Do the dolphin.
Dolphin?
Yeah, where they go like.
Oh yeah. Yes. So yeah, a friend of mine, Dennis Kennedy, also known as Rev, probably one of the better frontmen out of North Carolina. Doesn't really do it anymore, but he was Jazzed Up Hooligans. I used to. Shawn mentioned him before. I used to play the drums for him. He did this podcast on Spreaker called Rev's Local Rock Show. Mm-hmm. And like what got me into listening to it is he did this like battle of the bands thing, and my band at the time, Scully's Revenge, made it all the way to the finals, not because we were good or because we had fans, but because me and Scully were the only two that went into the chat rooms and voted for the bands.
Oh yeah.
So we decided basically all the way through the battle of the bands who the fuck made it through, because we were the only ones really like listening to it live and voting. But so it kind of got me listening to it more, and then I got hooked because Dennis is hilarious. He's a great guy, and he started trying to talk me into doing it. So I was like, yeah, why not? And then right at that exact time is when I had just recently lost my job, got laid off. The company I was working for got bought out, and they just come in and were like, everybody's gone. We'll bring in all new people. So I just lost my job, so I needed something to do with my hands and my time while I looked for a job.
What to do with my hands?
Yeah, well, I was also
That's where Pornhub kicks in.
well,
That's probably
harder
predating
to-
that, to be honest with
I
you.
had
We're old.
We still had one kid at the time.
So yeah,
so-
that was a good.
This was pre-second kid, but so I started like doing pre-recorded thing. Like I had a program called Cakewalk that a friend of mine had got me.
What is that?
It's a really old, horrible recording software.
Oh. Was it a cakewalk?
I had
to
like
use?
a pirated version of it.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
So a lot of it was limited. Like you had to like buy the full version, which wasn't even available anymore. Like you couldn't even go buy the full version at this point. And so I started doing pre-recorded shows, mostly with like Korn and Pantera and shit like that. And then I started slowly getting into playing, local bands. And then I started going live, and that kind of started picking up. Then I got into another band, and I was like, really not having the time for a podcast, but I want to keep Maniacal Music because it's a great name. And I think I could, just like anybody else who starts a promotion or booking company, it's like they think they can make a difference. They can do something different than everybody else, right? So that's why I did that. And then I started booking shows, started diddling around with Microsoft Paint and Microsoft Word with making flyers and logos and stuff like that, which, at the time I thought were fantastic. But now that I'm a little bit more experienced, it's like, wow, that was garbage. Like back then I didn't even pay attention to size of images or anything I was doing. So like I was working on like 200 by 200 pixel images and then sending them on Facebook, and it's fucking getting expanded 15 times, and by the time like anybody sees it, you can't even tell what it was.
How was starting off booking shows? How was that?
It was horrible.
I believe you.
It was
I
horrible.
believe you 100%.
Because I didn't have contacts.
Yeah.
Like, I had been in bands, right, for a while, but never really any bands that, like, did anything big. Like, we played, I was in this band called Absolute Zero, and we played at the Marvell in Durham a couple times with, like, Russell's old band, Casta. We played a lot, like, back then. Like, me and Russell kind of were in the same music scene for a while before, and then we, like, stopped talking, I guess. Well, we never really talked that much. It was just like we played shows together, and so it was kind of weird how that came back together. But which was also at my 30th birthday party. It was his first show with Enemy in Disguise, and so that was kind of, I was like, I fucking know you, like, and I was friends with Swans. I was really close with
Rest in peace.
Yeah. Rest in peace, old Swans. But
Did you know him at all?
Never met him.
Mike Swines?
Yeah,
He was the guy that gave me my first show ever in Raleigh.
yeah, that makes sense, because he was kind of,
That's how I met Alex.
he kind of became somewhat my mentor in booking and promoting, as far as like kind of the do's and don'ts, and kind of, I don't want to say how to set up a successful show, because I got mad love for the dude, but he didn't set up many
He had drama.
successful shows.
He had drama.
Yeah, for sure.
Even with me.
Right. So, it was rough, because even hitting venues up, they were, treating me like I was, nobody. Like, who the fuck is this guy wanting to book 4 bands I'd never heard of? No.
On a weekend?
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck you.
One of my prime nights in the middle of a summer? No.
Yeah.
So then I realized that in order to do this, I was going to have to come out of pocket to make it happen. So then I started like hitting these venues up and telling them that I would give them, what do you charge to do a show? Oh, we charge $175 for a night. Okay, I will give you that right now up front if you let me book the show. Which is, if most people know book shows, that's not like a norm. Like, you don't typically do that. Usually it's after the show, unless the door, and then you count out, and it comes out of the door. Right.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily a typical thing, but I knew, like, the only way to really get a decent night at a decent venue, I was going to have to do something different. So that's what I did, and I booked a show at the Maywood, but it was $120.
Was it the Maywood or was it Volume 11 back then?
It was Volume 11 at the time.
Yeah.
I did one show at Volume 11. It was a fucking Afton show.
Fucking Afton.
Horrible.
Yeah.
Don't ever use those. Even if you're starting out, do not use Afton.
Definitely don't.
I've done 2.
What is Afton?
You don't even look it up.
Yeah, that's hard. It's not worth your
I
time.
don't even know if they're still around. I told them to screw
No,
off.
they're always
So I don't even
around,
get
but they
emails
have
for
a
'em.
different name. Like, I guarantee you they're still there. They change
Well,
names
no,
like every couple of
the
years
problem-
because
I
the
don't-
lawsuits that come from what they do.
I don't know if
Like-
they have a venue that'll let them work, though.
I don't know. I think the Poorhouse still does that.
Really?
I think so. I'll have to double check on that, but I'm pretty
I'll
sure.
never use them.
Yeah. But yeah, so it was volume 11. I can't even remember who I booked, but I made like $20, right? Like after my 120 that came out of pocket for the venue, I made $20. Like, okay, I didn't lose money. So then I started kind of just networking, right? I was going to more shows in Greensboro, trying to get contacts.
Sorry, real quick. I'm doing
Sure.
math. I'm doing math right now because you're like saying 120, you charge $5 a head, 24 people, you got your. That's the math that I see.
Right, right.
Like, I'm like planning it out in my head. I'm like 24 people. That's totally doable. I'm like, that's not a bad. I mean, you're not going to make money,
Right.
but that's not a bad way to get your foot in the door.
Right. No, it
Yeah.
definitely wasn't.
Yeah.
Like for my first legit show,
Uh-huh.
I mean,
just thinking about
I
that
couldn't
from
believe
like,
that I'd
coming
actually
from my
made
standpoint.
that made money. So then I started going to other shows in other areas, trying to book my band at the same time of booking other bands, and I was trying to expand this whole maniacal music thing. I was bringing in other bands, and then I started managing a band called Soapbox Arson out of Greensboro. I had booked them for like my mom's boyfriend's Labor Day party at his house, and they come in, and my mom's boyfriend made moonshine, and so that's what we had to drink. Like my mom made Jello shots with it, and if you know Soapbox Arson, you know they drink.
Oh, yeah.
They fucking drink. Like as their manager, when like venues would ask what they
Yeah.
wanted, it was like alcohol. Do they want water? No. Fuck water. Alcohol. How much
Miller.
alcohol can you give
No,
them?
Miller Lite is
Yeah.
what their preferred drink was.
Right. But
Gatorade is,
so they-
is what's this Josh called
they
it.
come in, they play the show, and they were phenomenal. They blew us away. And then they got sloused and played a second show the same night.
Probably better than the first
And
one.
yeah, no, like what's funny is the moment I knew I wanted, and I'd never managed a band, never except for like maybe a band I was in. And the moment I decided I wanted to manage them, Josh, the singer, was literally leaning on the microphone. And I'm like, I don't know why, but I have to manage these guys. Like,
I like that.
so I went and talked to him, and I was like, what's funny is when I was talking to him, I felt like this big guy who like had millions in my pocket. And I'm like, I can sell them the world, but I didn't like sell it like that. That's just how I felt. I'm like, look guys, I have no idea what I'm doing. I've never managed a band before. We've just met, but I want to manage you. And they were like, okay. And I actually did really good, I thought. Like,
Shoot,
I think
they blew up, man.
I think they would
were
say the same.
huge.
Yeah, like I helped them get pretty big. I got them a show opening for Puddle of Mud, and it was last minute, and we sold over $900 in merch that night. It was insane.
I mean, their
But-
comeback show, they headlined the Blind Tiger. Nobody else. I mean, they were
Yeah.
the draw.
Yeah.
I mean, they had opening
Yeah,
acts.
yeah,
but
They-
there
like,
wasn't like
shit.
a national act to go
They
with
got
it.
huge.
That's awesome.
And
Are they still playing?
no,
No, okay.
Well, I mean,
No.
they had a comeback show
it wasn't a
last
comeback
year, this
show.
year, a reunion,
Yeah,
whatever you want
it
to
was
call it.
actually what it was their going away show.
Oh.
Is what because they never had
Same
that.
thing.
Like
Same
the band split up, but they didn't have their last
Yeah.
show,
Yeah.
and that's what this past. I think it was January. I want to
I
say.
don't even remember.
But that's kind of what that show was. It was their goodbye show.
They were good.
But they did. They blew up. They blew up really quick. At least in the area. Like they were one of those local bands that could fill a local venue
Absolutely.
on any given day. I mean, if
They
you
go to
booked a
other towns.
Tuesday night at 8 p.m., they were filling that venue. It was insane.
What kind of music?
Rock.
It was very.
Just
It was.
straight up rock.
It was.
Straight rock,
It was
rock.
90s
Oh, yeah.
influenced hard rock.
Yeah.
Almost like grunge rock.
Yeah, dude.
I mean, the singer Josh,
Shit.
he's. I mean, Eddie Vedder could be his brother. I mean, it's the way he sounds.
They were all phenomenal musicians, and yeah, Josh, he just had the perfect frontman personality. Anyways,
Dude could scream and sing in the same breath. I mean, he had it all.
Yeah, it just blew me away. And I mean, the girls loved him. He was the epitome of the girls loved him and the dudes wanted to be him, right? Like he lived that moment. And he had like these cowboy boots with like electrical tape wrapped around them.
Still has them.
And that became that became part of his image. Like there was one show he played where he didn't wear those boots, and I got legit mad at him. Like as their manager, I'm like, no, you cannot do that. Like
he wore, like
people
Skechers,
come to expect the fucking electrical tape around the boot, and then of course
just to make your whole shoe.
And then they had Stephen Cook, the drummer, who was like this
Viking,
redheaded Viking.
My beard looked like a freaking
makes his beard
dwarf.
look like a baby. I mean, he just had this massive, luxurious beard, the whole mane to go with it. Not to mention he was great at playing the drums, and then on top of it, he was a great guy.
Yeah. Kind of guy to just walk up to you, give you a hug, pick you up off the ground.
Now, he was also a redhead.
Won't pick you off the ground, but I'll give you a hug.
He's also a redhead, so he did have a temper. So me and him butted heads, right? Show me a group of people where I don't butt heads with 1 out of 5 of them. You know what I mean?
Dead.
Right.
Show me that group and he's dead.
So and then they started getting bigger, and basically they came across this guy who tried to sell them the world, right? He was just a local promoter, but for a while he was managing local bands and bringing in sometimes decent acts. And so that's kind of what he did. So they hit me up and they're like, "Hey, we're going to go with this guy." And I knew no matter what happened, I was a stepping stone for them. Like I knew that if they did like get huge, that I was staying here. Like I wasn't gonna go with them. I knew it was just a matter of, helping them, and that's all I wanted to do. Anyways, it was just like I said. I mean, I was drunk, I was high, they were good. I was like, and I just had this feeling come over me that I needed to manage them, and it went well. So then I started bringing in other bands. I was hitting up other bands. I'm like, I did this and this and this for this band, and I can totally help you out. And so I started bringing them in and started kind of helping them book regional shows. Not very well. But one thing I was able to do is the shows I was booking, I was able to get guarantees for most of these bands. Yeah. Which is kind of unheard of, right?
Yeah.
Especially a lot of these bands, they were going to places that they'd never been to before. So I had to sell these venues I had to sell them a pie that they'd never tried, right? Something they'd never heard of and a flavor that they'd never tried. And I had to sell them and then make them guarantee that they're going to give us money even if they don't like the pie. That was a hard sell. But I've always had the ability to sell ice cubes to Eskimos. Like, give me enough time, I can do it.
He says that.
I can do it.
But I still haven't seen it.
Just saying, like...
Have you ever seen an Eskimo?
Yes.
Oh.
I'm friends with one.
Yeah.
Like, legit Eskimo.
Bring him over here. I'm going to sell that motherfucker some ice cubes. No, I've always kind of had that ability. So
could.
Yeah. I could do it. So it just kind of started expanding. And then I had some serious shit go down in my personal life that skirt put a halt on that. Me and my wife lost a child like right before birth. Right. That was my boy. And so that fucked my head up real bad. So I was hitting these bands up and like, yo, I'm done. Like just didn't give a shit about how it affected them in any way, shape, or form. It was just mentally, I was just not in a place where I could do anything like that. And it affected a lot of shit. And then, of course, me and my wife, we'd been together, going on 19 years. And that almost fucked us all up.
That's a big blow. As a parent, that's a big blow.
Yeah.
I've never lost a kid, but I have 3, and I can only imagine
it was
the
huge,
torture that puts you through.
Yeah. And what killed me was that I didn't know what my wife was going through. I knew what I was going through, and I knew what she went through, because when it all went down, it was in an ambulance in the parking lot of our complex, and I wasn't in the ambulance with
I was going to say something sad, like, welcome to the Dr. Phil portion of the show, but then you said that, and I'm like, legitimately was like,
so I only know what she told me, and it was horrific.
So was he actually born?
Yes.
And he was
right in the back of the ambulance. 2 months early, and yeah.
And that was his last. He was born in. That was his end. Right.
Yep.
Wow.
Right there in the ambulance.
That is tragic.
Right, and that's what killed. Because I wasn't there, like right there with her, so I couldn't. I didn't know what she was going through, and so I only knew what I was going through, and I knew it was horrible, and she was going through the same thing mentally, as far as she didn't know what I was dealing with, and like we just didn't want anything to do with each other. And the worst part about all that is we still had Daisy. Yeah. Like she was 7 or 6 at the time, right? So we still had her, and she had no idea what the hell was going on. She just knew that mom was pregnant. Now she's not, and nothing. So and that kind of messed with her. And then my pops had died around the same time, maybe like 6 months before that. It was really hard. So all these bands didn't mean shit to me anymore. Yeah. So Maniacal Music was almost nothing for a while, and then I just kind of slowly started getting back into it. Got it with Dennis Kennedy, with Jazzed Up Hooligans, then this guy, and
you talk about two
slowly got back into
people
it.
From opposite spectrums of the world come together to be good friends at this point. I mean, my life growing up was like super religious to the point of cultic, vegetarian, homeschooled, you name it. If it was extreme, I was probably involved. And I meet up with Alex, who is probably everything opposite of what I was.
Exact opposite. Alcoholism, drug abuse, child abuse, molestation, you name it. Like, I came up from a super, super broken home.
Yeah, I had both parents my whole life. Mom stayed home. We were complete opposites. So it's just crazy how, in the grand scheme of things, you wind up getting involved with people. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like somebody like you normally wouldn't, consort with. So
opposites attract. Right?
Yeah, it's weird how we came together, but I think at the end of the day with promo, I think at this point me and Shawn have the same mindset. No matter what, promo is continuing.
I mean, Adam and me have we started playing he's been playing in bands long before I was, but I mean, as far as this journey, we've been together the whole ride. So me and him are really tight. And David, I've known him since before I even knew how to play an instrument. He was in hardcore bands going around, like Engine Joe. Like John Barry was talking about Our Blood Avenged, recording them. That was his first recording. That was David's band. I mean, David has been, I've known, God, I'm trying to think, it's 15 plus years. I used to go to homeschool group with John Barry before we were even teenagers back in the day. That tells you how long I've known him.
How many people around here have been homeschooled?
Well, I was the first. Me and my sister were the first kids ever pulled out of Johnson County school system for homeschooling.
Yeah,
I'm old.
He's literally the first person I've ever met that was homeschooled. I've never known anybody that was homeschooled. I went to
kindergarten, and after that, it was just straight up home, which I should not have graduated. I'm just saying. I should not have, but somewhere along the line, someone cooked the books, and it wasn't me.
It wasn't me.
It was not me.
F may have been turned into an A at some point. I don't know.
One line.
The day I hit 16, I was working 40 plus hours a week, and I did not do the last 2 years of high school. So I don't know what happened after that point. Just saying.
Yeah, but very, very, very different lives.
But yeah, me and Alice, I mean, obviously we do the podcast together. We started promo with Jeremy, and I don't even, I know we were talking about the promo and the other dudes and everything like that. Yeah,
so where are you at with Maniacal Music right now?
Now Maniacal Music is like Front Row is a subsidiary of Maniacal Music, so like Front Row with Maniacal Music.
It's gone through quite a turbulent history.
I still try to do logos for bands and people. I never charge. Still to this day, I don't charge bands for any of my services. unless we set up a separate, I'm booking your band, I'm your band's booking agent. In which case, then it's only 10% of what I make
booking?
them.
Still kind of managing bands?
Well, I wasn't. There's
a lot of hemming and hawing right there.
Yeah, Nova Mortis, I was helping for a little while, and then some shit went down between me and Josh, the drummer, and now it's because I have nothing against really any of them. Not even Josh. There's just you get to a certain point where you just don't want that in your life anymore, right? For whatever reason, everybody has their reasons. So I just kind of got to that point, and because of that, I kind of had to push them out. Yep. Now I'm still helping with their music videos, right? Because they're doing a big storyline, right, of the videos, and I'm a man of my word. Yep. So I told him I would do it. I'm gonna do it regardless of how awkward it might be. Now, me and Josh have yet to talk face to face since this all went down. And it's very possible that when we get in a room side by side and get a chance to talk and burn one and
Jesus, you just throwing it all
man
out
it up. Dude, isn't this what this is for?
This is what it's all about, right?
So
Tanner's over there just smiling.
He asked the question. He asked the question, bro.
Listen, I'm gonna let you guys say as much as you want.
He asked the question.
God, if you're not going to get
if you're gonna answer it, you got to answer it correctly. So there's a chance that it gets hashed out.
My name is Shawn Sims. I'm not affiliated with Alexander or Maniacal Music.
He loves me. He loves me. You said it opposites attract, where I'm full of drama, not purposely, but drama follows me. It always has my entire life.
God,
it's
I've
just
had
what
more
it is.
drama this past week in my personal life, and Alex is even like, "You need to talk, bro."
Yeah, like I could tell. No, I could tell. I was like, this guy needs to talk.
But anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it's just. What it is. Some people have dramatic lives. Some people don't. Like my shit from as long as I can remember has just been.
My goal as an adult
1,000 miles an hour
to make my life as much of a permanent vacation as possible.
Yes.
That is my goal.
But that's why I do so much shit because I to this day still struggle with drug addiction. Because you never get rid of it. Mm-hmm. So that's why I do so much stuff. Because I gotta keep my hands busy. I gotta keep. Busy, yep. I can sit there in front of the computer for 4 hours making a logo. Click, 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 click.
Now that is one thing that both
I'll
of
smoke
us,
cigarettes like going out of style.
I think that's one thing that kind of keeps us connected is because when I go at something, I go at something 110%. I mean, there's always more that I can do, and I realize it. But when I am focused and dedicated on something, I give it all I got. Mm-hmm. And I get irritated when nobody else involved does it as well. Alex is always 110% involved in whatever we're doing.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think that's what makes us click so well, and that's why I was like at this point with promo, it's like we love Adam and David, do not want them to leave the band
at all,
but we want the band to stay a band. So if that means we have to
and
continue,
they are very much still involved.
Yeah.
Don't get misconstrued there.
So if it has to continue, instead of it being like it was, where it's just like promo's done, promo I think is I think at least for me, promo is going to be my last band, right? So whether it continues on till the day I die or dies off tomorrow, that's it for me. So I don't know how Shawn feels, but
yeah, Shawn don't even know how he feels.
So okay, we should ask him.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, people are always chit-chatting about, hey, we should do something, and you got out of 5 people who say that, one of those things might actually come about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
People are wishy-washy. They're flip-floppy.
A lot of people just want to say
they
like the idea. I think a lot of people like the idea.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
Great intentions, but a lot of people are very distracted and busy, so they'll say that.
Right.
And then 2 other things will come along. They'll start focusing.
Sure.
on
They haven't thought.
Oh no, it's not a malicious act.
Yeah, it's
right.
just other. People go off and give it. It's the artist.
It's life. Yeah.
Life. Yeah.
It's a hard knock life
for us.
Okay. You didn't really answer where you're at with Maniacal Music.
I'm
gonna bring that back up.
I don't think he really knows.
Maniacal Music. Well, I kind of started getting in that front row. I get sidetracked easily. It's still somewhat a thing. Like I said, I was trying to do some stuff with Nova Mortis and that kind of. But no matter what, like, I'm always going to do my Toys for Tots event. And that's, matter of fact, literally before the end of last year's Toys for Tots, Robbie came up to me and was like, when can you do next year?
Yep.
You know,
Let's
Okay,
set
so
up.
Maniacal Music is two parts. Let me help him out with this. You got the booking side that Alex does with a few shows every year. But then you got Front Row, which is the internet side. He does a show every Sunday with Savage Hannah and Russell Davis, Deluxe. You know, so they have their own show with Maniacal Music as well as booking where they interview bands and stuff like that.
Right.
So that's very much still going strong, wouldn't you say? So that's where he's at with Maniacal Music.
It's always a thing. No matter, like, Maniacal Music was built for the scene, to help the scene in any way, shape, or form, even if in just my own little
Booking
small
shows,
way.
logos, band flyers, and internet radio.
Any way I can.
Do you have
I
any?
will, but, you know,
Because
it,
you know you.
it still
you
hasn't got.
Sorry, no, I was
still
gonna
hasn't
say,
gotten much traction.
So you managed a band. You know, you managed a few bands. You've done this booking. You've done this promoting company. What advice, if you got any?
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't.
I'm not saying for
Don't-
like
don't
going
do
into
it.
it. I'm
Be
saying
more
like,
specific with
No,
your
no, no,
or
no.
like so say you're in like my position where you're trying to book your band.
Yeah. So the best thing for booking your band is networking. Like, you're gonna hear it all the time. Network, which is hard for me because I'm very much an introvert.
And honestly,
Like, I love to talk. You break the wall down and it's over.
100%.
But-
Honestly, that is how I am sitting here right now. Is just because I am nice to people and talk to them. 100%. I have nothing else to credit for that other than talking to people, being nice, having them like me, and being at the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
And for me, it's the exact. I fucking hate people. It's just how I was raised. It's not like something I grew up and decided. It's just like small talk. I don't get it. I hate it. And as mean as it sounds, I don't fucking care. And that's just how I was raised. Like, my parents, there was no small talking at all. It was, you know,
With promo,
it was negativity mostly, and what are you doing for me right now, kind of thing. And so it was,
we're the fire and the ice. I'm the nice face guy that people reach out to and talk to. Alex is the hardcore business behind the scenes dude that makes stuff happen.
I kind of wish there's one of my brothers. I kind of wish he was here, and you would see the same dynamic relationship between the two of us.
right. It's, you know, it's just one of those things.
Okay.
But definitely just network. Like, get out there, talk to people, and
Go to shows you're not
talk to the right
freaking
people.
playing.
Yeah, that's what it is. Just
put your face in the place you want to be at.
right, because
People
that's all
see
it
you
was
there,
for me.
People will talk to you, and eventually you'll get the question, "Oh, what do you do?" "Well, I'm in such and such band. You got anything I can hear?"
Yeah,
And then that snowballs into, "Oh, you want to play a show with us?"
that's
You
all.
know,
That's all my
100%,
contacts.
That's all you got to do.
Most of my contacts, I did learn that from my pops, because my pops, he traveled the country doing lights and sound shows in titty bars and nightclubs. Like, that was his thing. But how he got most of his jobs was he would go to another, like, we'd be working on this club, and he'd go to the 3 down the street with a bag of coke
Putting a pin.
and find the owner or the manager and bring him to the bathroom
Putting
and
a pin in this part right here. Let's come back and ask Alex what happened on his 18th birthday later on, okay?
Okay.
What happened on your 18th birthday when you were working with your dad?
yeah. That was 15th.
15th?
It was 15th.
Oh, I thought it was your 18th.
No, it was 15th.
Okay, I got
know what
that.
you're talking
Anyways,
about. Yeah.
Continue on.
But so I would just go to the clubs and I would find the person that was in fucking charge at the time, whoever it was, with a bag of weed. Like, "Hey, you want to smoke? Yeah, let's go smoke." And then we get to talking. Have him in this band.
Okay, I don't
I'd get the
endorse
card.
this. Just saying.
But no, you don't necessarily have to use drugs. It's just you have to find that common ground, right?
Yeah.
You know, and then you spark the conversation.
This is a lot of people smoke weed.
And that's yeah, right. And that's just how it is. You have to just talk. And I hate it. I hate it. Like, talking to other people. It's just the small talk. Like,
I was about to say,
give me
so
something
you do-
serious.
so
Like,
you do
if we're having a conversation about something, I'm cool
Yeah.
with. But just the hey, do you like bread? Like, it gets awkward for me. unless I'm talking about myself. But I'm a musician, right? Like, musicians love to talk about themselves, which is another reason I realized interviewing musicians was super easy. Like, it's because all you have to do is be like, so tell me about your band. An hour and a half later,
I don't do shit in these
you don't have to do shit. Musicians love to talk about themselves and their band.
It's just artists, you know, like, because how often, especially locally, how often do you get a chance to actually talk about yourself?
Right.
Well, us, quite often.
I
We talk
try.
to each other.
Yeah. No, and that's why I was mentioning it earlier. Like, normally I'm sitting where you're sitting, so I don't get the opportunity to, like, tell my story.
Yeah.
This is probably the first time I've ever had the chance in the fucking 8 to 10 years I've been in the scene.
All right. So, Alex, let me ask you a question.
To tell a story.
You're at a show.
Yeah.
The band you're watching, one of the members spontaneously combusts on stage while playing. What band is it, and what instrument are you called up to play?
See, I can't answer that because I would be in the parking lot smoking a joint and would completely miss the spontaneously combustion of a musician.
All right, so
No, legit though, like it would be Korn.
the reason he asked every band he interviews that one question. So.
That's like my main question when we interview bands, because you always get the you know, how did you get into music? What's your influence? You know. We don't get crazy answers.
Well, I'm trying to
tell you,
I haven't heard them all.
We have heard Kill Switch Engage 50% of the time. That is like the biggest answer of all of it. Kill Switch Engage.
I guess if you look at the
Skylar
age
from He Is Legend that question, or did you not ask him that question?
I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
It's been a while since that interview happened.
next favorite band is He Is Legend.
I was a bit
Yeah, but I got
Did
to.
you see him?
I didn't see
just-
the last show.
okay.
Last time I saw him was at Drunk Horse Pub with Norma Jean. So.
Oh,
Oh, it was amazing. It was an amazing show.
So good. Yeah.
That's him right there. Chrome.
Yeah, we
Okay.
interviewed him. But
My
I was
contacts.
in the room.
You see, you see.
Well, I mean, we talked about. I don't know how serious they were, but they record in Carborough, and there's this venue called the Kraken, and they were talking about they always go there to drink after recording. We're like, well, we have been on a show there. You know, if you ever want to play a show.
You can totally put something together. I'm just saying.
Oh no,
Well, see, back in the day, David, they're from Wilmington, right?
Yeah.
When they started locally, David used to play with them. He actually had a band with their guitar player, the bald dude.
Adam.
Yeah, they were in a band together for I don't know how long a period of time, but so it's kind of like I've seen them come up from like the very beginnings to where they are now, and I love them even more now than when they even started because they've kind of gone into that whole stoner doomy kind of side.
Yeah, they're pretty fantastic.
I don't think you really ever listened to them before.
I
was always like,
I'd like knew of them, but I never really gave them the time of day.
Yeah.
And then I was working with the guy Dana, with Front Row. He was helping me book bands, and he was like, "Hey, I can get you in contact with Kroom from His Legend." And I'm like, "Yes, like that would be huge."
Please.
Which it wasn't, not for the show, anyways.
Yeah.
Like it was a great episode. I loved it, but it didn't do shit for the show.
That was when Brian was still in the show. That was a long time ago.
It was. It sure was. It was like close to when I fired him off the show. It was pretty close. It was like
because I was running the stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I think were you on that show?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was there.
Yeah, because I knew Shawn was a fan, so I hit him up. I'm like, "Hey, do you want to be on the show for this one?" And he's like, "Yes," because you know how many opportunities do you get like that.
Very few. Very few.
So yeah, that was fucking cool. He was a great guy. It was one of the better interviews. Although Moto Grader was probably the best interview I've had.
Oh, did you have the full band or?
No, I had
the guitar player.
Yeah.
Can't remember his name.
Oh.
What?
Was it Nuke?
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
I had him on there, and
I thought one of the better ones was the dude from Coop. What Co-op? Coop? It was Alice Cooper's son.
Alice Cooper's son. Yeah, I interviewed
pretty
him.
awesome.
Yeah, that was pretty sweet. But no, I still think Newt. His interview was the best because the interview with Newt for Moto Grader was that the thing about that one was that I got him to talk about shit that people hadn't been able to get him to talk about since the explosion of Motograder.
Okay.
Right? Like since
with Five Finger Death Punch.
Yeah,
Ivan,
right.
And all that stuff.
So he like opened up about shit that nobody else could get him to, and I was like, oh my god! And I just let him talk. Like this dude's opening up and just like that was the longest interview, but he was just laying it out there. Like he like really opened up himself, and like it blew me away. But yeah, that was a great one. But yeah, no, the one with Coop,
you had a little bit of connection
cool.
there too, because the lead singer at the time, what was his name, Anthony.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he is from this area, which
I just had him.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, last week. So
like Wade's in the band with him now with Colton's Black.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it was. I've had the opportunity with Front Row. Definitely had the opportunity to talk to people that I didn't, normally get to. And then I was with Rock Rage Radio for a little while.
How long have you been doing Front Row?
A couple years.
2 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, close to it. Yeah. And then with Rock Rage Radio, they sent me to Carolina Rebellion to do interviews and shit, and that blew my mind.
It's not even like you never know how big or successful that might be. Yeah. But just having the opportunity.
Oh yeah, dude! I didn't give a shit if anybody watched the videos because I was sitting there with them, like
Under Oath.
Yeah, I was sitting like literally beside Spencer from Under Oath for like 30 minutes, just shooting the shit, like, and then talked to Carly from Butcher Babies. Well, we actually had both of them.
Is that which one? Is that
the brunette, dark hair?
They changed her hair color. I don't know.
Well, is it the one that? Because one of them sings.
I think it was the screamer.
One of them does like. One of them does more highs and one of them does lows.
I think it was the one that does lows.
Okay. They got one song that's like, oh, you can't stop moving, and I'm just like, that's so groovy. Like
it was so
Monsters Ball or something like
that. That was a great song.
Yeah.
And they tried to break the crowd surfing record that year and did not. Like what was funny about that is like she talked about how they were trying to break the record, and so like there was a bunch of crowd surfing on it, and like she's like slowly during the song, like you could hear her counting off like 1, 2, and then like towards the end of it she's like 42, 40, we did it. Like no the fuck we didn't. Hold the fuck no wait no the fuck we didn't. We did. There was 20 maybe. We didn't break no, but nobody cares.
Oh, A Day to Remember.
I'm just a dick.
I saw A Day to Remember with Parkway Drive and State Champs.
That was somebody else I got to talk to. Winston from Parkway Drive.
Fuck, bro.
Yeah, he was.
Oh, that was
Parkway
He was awesome.
Parkway is my favorite band.
That was another band that I never really listened to.
I love Parkway. I love Winston too. Like his.
So are you a fan of August Burns Red then?
Yeah.
Parkway Drive, dude. I saw them. This is how old I am. When they were first they opened up for Unearthed and Darkest Hour, but the other opening band was Suicide Silence.
Oh, wow,
Before they even made the headlinings, they were literally the two opening bands. So we got like 20 minutes each.
Jeez.
That happened.
I saw a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
Before Slipknot made it big, I saw them with Kitty at the Cat's Cradle in Chapel Hill. I was in like 9th grade, and they come in and like, they had like the shit jumpsuits and like they had not made it yet. Neither had Kitty. Like they were just like a regional band touring.
This will tell you how old I am. I remember when Korn played the freaking Brewery before they even had Jonathan Davis as a frontman.
I don't remember that. That was a long time ago, So, yeah.
Early 90s?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. It's like early 90s.
I was a teenager.
Yeah.
I was an early teenager. I wasn't very old, but...
Is that when the R was, like, regular?
No, I don't think they've ever...
They weren't Korn then. Because they didn't become Korn until after John Davis.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe it was before...
Biggest Korn fan ever. Like, Korn fucking kid. Trust me.
Yeah, okay. I can't even remember what was the dude that they had the band with, like the singer before. Do you remember? I don't remember either.
Because, like I said, that didn't have anything to do with Korn.
I remember hearing Jonathan Davis talk about the tryout process, and he was talking to the dudes. He's like, "Does it matter if I know how to sing, or can I just like make some noise?"
Right. Well, from their documentary they put out, they were talking about how they went to a local show and they saw John Davis up on stage with the other band that he was with, and he was up there and he started doing that boom, knock the boom, knock the bitch, and they were like, "Whoa." And so when he got done, they pulled him off, and they were like, "Do you want to be in a good band?" And so it was kind of like, yeah. And then they'd slowly come up with the Korn song. But what really got me about Korn was when I heard about the fact that they were renting a bus and going around and picking their fans up and taking them to their shows. So, like, they were playing full venues, but they were bringing the people. They were loading up in a bus.
Don't knock the hustle.
Picking. Oh, no.
Awesome.
That's what, like, made me love them the most. Like, it was like, that is genius. Like, you don't have a ride? That's cool. Hey, get on the bus. We're going that way. Like,
it was crazy, too, hearing Easy and them talk about the alternative. That's where I met them. Oh, yeah, the Take Heart t-shirt on right now. But David was playing drums in the band before they were Embracing Goodbye, called Ballistic Rain. And they used to open up every show at the Alternative. I remember seeing Kids in the Way there, Showbreed, Project 86. I mean, most of them were Christian, heavily oriented bands and stuff. But
you have a fantastic memory.
I do. I definitely do. But,
drugs affect your memories.
Yeah, I remember the first time I ever saw Easy, I'm like, wow, that dude's intense. And then actually getting to know him, he's like, whoa, that dude's a giant teddy bear.
They got a show coming up.
I saw.
First show back.
Oh, yeah.
We saw them at the Unicron show last night.
Right on.
It was good. It was real good. Kings is a nice venue.
It's hugely nice. I've always wanted to play it, but nobody else wants to play there. So, I don't think he likes the lugging upstairs aspect of it or something.
No, not a fan.
They got an awesome sound system.
I'm just at the age now where I can afford to be picky.
I mean,
we're not looking to be huge, so we don't have to play everywhere.
Biggest goal
we can be picky.
Play freaking Clayton Beverage because we broke up when that really exploded.
That's gonna happen. My thing, I want to play. I want to play Lincoln.
Love that venue.
Before I die,
like
hopefully on stage.
House, so.
Yeah, right. Before I die, hopefully that happens on stage. I want to play Lincoln Theater. That is one place.
Well, I've actually done that.
I've never played. I've yet to play that place in Raleigh, and that is one place I've always wanted to play. And I have
With the Afton show, nonetheless.
I have no contacts there at all.
Well, I don't think many people do because they don't book local shows anymore.
Yeah, so I have to figure out a way.
They just did They did one.
Yeah, like it's not like they used to.
But yeah,
it's
I mean,
pretty
see
rare.
my buddy, shout out to Brandon Hockaday with B-Rock Promotions. He used to do a lot of shows there. That's the first time I ever saw Extinction Level Event, is because his old band Aeonic, Killing the Catalyst, Extinction Level Event, and he brought in the what's the name of that band from New York that came in? Give me a second. They're super technical, like metal band. Binary Code. Binary Code from New York. If you've never checked them out, check them out. It's pretty intense stuff. But yeah, they played in the Lincoln Theater, and that was the last local show, and that was before I was even in Bernaville, so that was like 2015-ish, something like that. Long time ago.
Been a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Just not. I mean, there's not as many people at shows.
Not anymore.
I mean,
it's got to be the right show.
You got to think they're kind of spread out too. I mean,
or there's like multiple shows,
right?
Same night.
It's what
for all the people talking about the clubs closing down in Raleigh. Yeah, I mean, Berkeley's gone, Drunk Horse is gone. I mean, not Drunk Horse, but Deep South is gone. So on, so on. But you still got Emerge, you still got the Maywood, you got Kings, you got Slims, you've got Clayton Beverage going on. I mean, all these people pull the same group if we're talking about local hard rock.
Yeah, and that's where some of the problem comes in. Like, when I'm going to book a show and I go through the calendar and I pick my date, I also hit all the calendars, like Independent. I go on Facebook, Maywood events, and I check to see is any other like people in our scene
putting on
a show at the same time.
And we strictly adhere to the 30-day rule.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
So play another show in the local area.
Yeah, so I try when I book shows, I try not to step on toes of people who already have shows booked. If more people did that, I think we would find more success, right? Because unfortunately, especially with the large amount of bands that there are in this area, kind of less is more. And I think if we can figure out some way to where we can all start kind of working together a little bit better on booking, then I think we would find that all of our shows would be more successful and better turnouts.
I had this, I don't know what popped into my head one night. I was talking with Nick or Austin, I don't know, someone, and it just popped in my head. I was like, we just need a master calendar for everyone in this. I was like, we just need some group of people like helping.
Yeah, I mean,
helping this.
We can all talk
coordinate
about this, in theory,
this,
but
like,
we all know down to reality. When you're in a new band, you're starting out. You're going
to play anything.
See, but that's the thing. There is absolutely a such thing as oversaturation.
Yeah, totally.
And that's not just with your band, but like with music.
It's just
period.
in general, yeah.
Like you can oversaturate an area with rock music, and they're staying at home. Simple as that.
Because I mean, let's be honest. The biggest thing we compete against is YouTube, Facebook.
Yes.
The Walking Dead.
Netflix.
Yeah,
Sitting at home, just enjoying your time, which I am extremely guilty of.
All guilty of it, right?
Yeah.
So because I can't. There's been times where I'm like, these guys are playing. It also depends on who it is. Like, I'll be honest, if I see through all this time playing in Raleigh and I have my wife's not working and I have no plans that night, I'm there in front of the stage. It's just that simple. But I remember the Drunk Horse Pub for a while used to have somewhat of a public access calendar, right? So you go on there, if that date was available, boop boop, type your shit in, and it's now your date. And you could even, as far as go in, and if somebody has that date, mark, you can go in as a secondary and mark that in case their shit falls through. Boom, you're picked up. And I never even had to contact Paulie. Like, hey, can I book my band for this date? You could just literally go on the calendar.
Wow.
Like, and not everybody had access to it, but a lot of the like bookers and promoters in the area did, and some of the bands did as well. So that was kind of cool to be able to do that because I want to do this date, pull it up. Oh shit, that's taken. Never mind. You wouldn't even have to, because I think we can all agree that sometimes contacting venues is a fucking painstaking wait, right? Because not all of them are Robbie. Robbie, he responds like almost immediately, but there's so many that just don't.
There's a lot that
you could wait 2 weeks.
Yeah, you'll never hear back from.
Yeah,
or you'll just
it's
never.
Definitely
like,
a who you know game.
After managing Soapbox Arson, I remember it had to be 6 months after I was no longer their manager. I got an email from a venue that I had contacted like probably 9 months earlier about a show, and they're like, "Hey, are you still interested in this date?" Like, what? No, it's in 3 weeks. No, we can't do that. Like, it's not a thing anymore.
Just realized we don't
that band's
have
not even a band anymore. I can't even spell manage anymore at this point. Like, this is not a thing. But it happens. Like, venues are hard to book. It's just, and that's why networking is so important. Like, because if you're closer to them and they know you, and then they're going through their email and they recognize your name, Tanner Brown sent you an email, you're like, click, as opposed to Michael Stevens, like, who the fuck is that? They're gonna click on yours before they click on mine because they know your name.
Then you try to get their phone numbers,
and then they're getting
text them. You
have to remember, there's hundreds of bands out there doing the same fucking thing you are, so they're getting hundreds of emails a day from bands. In your mind, you're like, it's just one fucking email, but they're looking at 300.
Oh, I mean, get emails all day. I'm like, I'll get to what I can get to, and then if it doesn't pop up as important to me, I'm like,
guilty
clearly
as charged.
Didn't spark my interest.
Guilty as charged. Even with One Up Radio, when I launched One Up Radio,
y'all read emails?
huh?
Y'all read emails?
Uh-huh.
Oh.
Yeah.
When I launched,
not fully. Skim.
yeah,
I
when I launched One Up Radio,
If
like
it's
that's
not been an Amazon
that's like
shipping
how we
notice, I
got all
can't
our
tell you
music
the
was
last
through
time I
email,
heard
and it got
Okay,
to
yeah.
a point where we were getting so fucking many. It was like, okay, I gotta take a break for a couple of days, but that just made it worse because now you're still getting the same
Backed
amount
up.
coming in,
Yeah.
but you're no longer knocking them out, and that became,
Yeah.
you know, like
So
a
it's
welcome
like-
nightmare because we knew it was gonna happen. Like you give bands an outlet for their music, they're gonna contact you if they're smart.
Yeah.
Right, so yeah, I could see where they're coming from, but that's why that personal connection I think is what makes the difference with booking and promoting, and I think that's kind of why I failed so much with booking and promoting because I don't have that personal connection, and the personal connection I do have is with very few people.
Yeah. It's not fun at all.
It's no
It's
glamour
like-
and drugs and sex, and it's not.
It's
Honestly,
not
when
like
I
the
was
dirt.
when I was doing drugs and having sex and playing rock music, it was probably the worst part of my quote unquote music career. You know, I totally have more fun now. Just not doing drugs, drinking a beer or two, going home, having sex with my wife. 10 times better. 10 times. I'll take that any day.
Take it from the
What-
old guys.
Yeah.
What's your guys' best story with promo?
I don't know.
Best
I mean,
show.
Promo's boring.
Yeah, honestly, we don't have a whole lot of. I mean, we went over to Legging Gate. I remember we were
That's
playing.
probably
in
the
Wilmington.
best story.
I remember we were playing in Wilmington at the Calico Room, and it was the first time we ever played with Nova Mortis. You know, we shared a drummer at the time with Josh.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think it was their second show ever, and I mean that show was just destined for disaster. It was a Thursday night.
Horrible.
Nobody. It was only one band that was even remotely a local. They were from Jacksonville, which was Death of Uriah. Shout out to Death of Uriah, great band. Love them. But we're playing, and me and David.
They were
had
one
this
of the
thing.
free logos Maniacal Music did years ago too. Death of Uriah.
But
Sorry.
we were playing, and me and David have this thing where we kind of try to kick each other on stage just for fun, you know. And so he was standing on side. We made these light boxes. I don't know if you've ever seen us play or anything like that. We have these big light boxes we can stand on. He was standing on one, and I just side kicked him during the middle of his solo, and he loses his balance. I don't know if you've ever seen the Calico Room, but their stage is a good ways off the ground. And he's faced with the decision, face plant or jump down. So he jumps down in the middle of him playing right into the crowd. He just keeps playing. And after the show, I know I screwed up because I'm like, oh shit, I just kicked him off the stage on accident. And after the show, Tommy was like, that was the most awesome thing ever! You jumped down in the crowd and still playing. He's like, dude, it was jump or fall on my
Yeah,
head.
like, you didn't have a choice.
And I can't tell you how many times that's happened where I've kicked one of them just walking around on stage and they're like, ah!
We
Almost
fuck with
falling off.
we fuck with each other
I
a
have
lot.
fell on stage. I don't know how many times just tripping over my own self.
The
Like
last
the
show we
chord.
played at Bob's, I almost fucking died. I went to step on the damn light box and I slipped because it was covered in beer, and I just whoop almost right off the stage. It was so close.
Yeah,
That
so
was-
it's more like goofs like that.
Yeah, because we don't do that. Like,
Or step on the light box and it slides itself.
yeah,
Like you go to step on it and the whole thing just moves.
yeah. We just don't. It's kind of
Nothing
a
too
boring
crazy.
old
We're
dudes
old
now.
band,
Like,
yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
I
we
could sit
don't-
here
we
for
don't have any-
hours and tell you stories from back in the day.
We don't
but
have epic kiss the curse style stories
We
where
just
we're in hotel rooms or anything like that
yeah, we're boring old dudes that like to play music
and go to bed early.
and pick on
That's
each
fair.
other and
Pick
have
on-
fun. That's the biggest thing. It's,
Yeah, we definitely like to pick on each other.
yeah. And we're just it's just what it is now.
I was trying to think.
I don't think I have the energy. Like even right now, it's like 10:30.
Dude, it's
I'm
10:30.
I could totally go to bed.
It was like midnight last night, and I'm like sitting there, I'm like,
One of the coolest shows we ever played, though, was at the Drunk Horse Pub for a radio contest. We got,
Oh,
I
man.
don't even remember how we got involved in it,
Because we're fucking awesome.
Okay, well,
And I submitted our stuff.
okay, that's how we got it. It was next to rock, and basically it was like,
Oh yeah, the next rock.
okay, you know what it is, where you submit your music, but this time was like the first year they ever did
Yeah.
it. So there was only like 5 or 6 bands that submitted anything, and we got selected in the top.
Made it
4?
way further than we thought. Yeah, we basically got selected. Like, we were the top 4 of our region.
So
Yeah,
we
yeah.
had
So it was like the next step was
Yeah.
going to Hollywood
The
and
next-
playing,
The next week, we found out we had to play a show the day after Thanksgiving at Drunk Horse Pub. I'm supposed to go to Florida that night, so like we had to figure out a way where we could play. We played first, and
Yes.
Josh can't even get off work till like 6 o'clock, and we're supposed to load in at 6:30, and he's coming from Goldsboro all the way out there. We're like, God! So we get there, and we set up, and we get on stage. And we look out, and there's probably 300 people out there. I've never seen that venue so
place
full.
was
in
packed.
Yeah.
The radio
Wall
show,
to wall.
I mean, the radio station, the Rock 103.5, have been promoting it for weeks.
But-
And so,
And then, of
No
course,
one-
we had
yeah.
been promoting it.
Yeah.
You know.
and well, yeah, like we actually got we were responsible for like 5 people.
I disagree.
Yeah?
We had a fair amount of people there because if you remember before we started playing, and I will remember this
Well,
till
we
the
had
day
all
I
of
die.
Our wives there. We had Charles and his wife show
They were
up.
chanting promo. We had this people in this venue were chanting our name, like never before
Well,
did
maybe
I.
because our light boxes were on stage.
I
and
never
we could read
no
promo.
no. Our wives started it.
Oh, did
I'm
they?
not gonna say some strangers come up and were like, "I love this band." No, our wives definitely started it. But it got to a point where, I mean, obviously
did-
not all 300 people were
We played
chanting promo,
first. We
but
could
they were
only-
chanting our name and
We could only play 3 songs.
Yeah.
And one of them had to be a cover.
right.
And so we
It just went so good.
killed it.
We killed
I
it.
mean, honestly.
But we fed right because, well, like I said, we got up there and we're getting ready to play, and they're chanting our name. And the way we start our show was like with a big long bomb
But we were-
open, and we're like,
we were
yeah,
destined
we
to
get
lose,
people
though,
into it.
because of all the shows we played, somehow we were the heaviest band that night.
Yeah, not to mention we were playing in Fayetteville.
If you've ever heard us,
And-
you know we're not.
And two of the 4 bands that were playing there were from Fayetteville.
Yeah, yeah.
And
so
one
we
of
were
them was a
somewhat-
country
I'm not
band.
gonna
One
say-
of them was Polly's band, who owns
Yeah.
the Drunk Horse Pub.
Not gonna say it was rigged,
And
but we definitely were
and
not
we
gonna
really
win
didn't
that.
wanna
You know what I
win
mean?
because
Like
none of us wanted to go to
we
Hollywood.
couldn't go to Hollywood. Like
Yeah.
We knew
just
we weren't going to get.
it was a
paid.
pipe dream.
We
It
got
was
jobs,
totally
we got
like, this was
family.
not-
Like, we can't
if
do
we
this.
win, we're fucked.
Yeah.
Like, this is-
So of all the times to play the best show ever,
but yeah, we went up there and we just fucking
that's why I
slayed
laid it out because I
It
mean
was-
I didn't have to worry about my voice going. It's 3 songs.
Yeah, it was 3
Yeah.
songs. Yeah.
15
Yeah.
minutes.
Mhm.
You know,
And we killed it. But I'll remember that moment forever because, like I said,
I've
they
got a picture where I took
chanting our
standing
band
up there,
name, and it was like, oh shit, we made it.
took a
Not
picture
really,
of the
but
crowd just out in front of us.
yeah,
Sure
it's
looks good.
huge
Pretty
sea of
awesome.
people.
Sure
I mean,
looks
it was
good.
God, that was awesome.
It
By the
was
time we
good.
started playing, I was amped, fucking amped.
Yeah.
So
Get in
good.
that crowd.
I
So
love playing
fast.
drunk
I was
horse
about to say
anyways.
we have some really good. Except that was there was one crazy show we played at Drunk Horse Pub. It flooded. It would rain
Yeah.
for like a solid week. Have you ever been to Drunk Horse Pub?
I've never been to
You've
Fayetteville.
never been to Drunk Horse Pub? Okay.
Okay.
Well, the way it's set up, there's a giant drainage ditch on the side, and it floods like crazy. Well, it rained so much that the water was almost going into the club.
Yeah. Like legit.
There were 2 people that showed up for that show. 2 of the 4 bands bailed, and the 2 bands that
Yeah.
bailed were from Fayetteville. So the only bands that showed up were us, and through all this time. So it was basically just a glorified practice where we were playing
Yeah.
for each other.
Yo, because
Yeah.
we were throwing down.
Oh, yeah.
That
I mean,
was
there was
happening.
no pressure at that
Yeah.
point. We're just playing for each other, right?
Yeah.
Well, we're standing outside. They've got this side deck where you can stand out there and smoke. It's where you load in and load out. And we're standing out there, and this girl, she couldn't have been more than 17 years old.
Yeah,
if
she was
that,
young.
driving her mom and daddy's car, comes into the parking lot, turns left, and goes right into the drainage ditch and just
Oh, yeah.
floods the car.
And we're like, there's like
we're all
15.
going,
No! Stop!
Right.
And you can see what's funny is like you could see when her tires stopped touching ground because it did this like whoop whoop and then we're like, don't cut it off.
And so Polly's
And
running
then click, she
outside,
cuts it
and
off.
he's
So like instantly
oh.
she's fucked because if she kept it running,
He's like,
there was a chance, right?
Yeah.
Because the exhaust is pushing the water out. It's not going to flood, but yeah.
Yeah, and everybody's freaking out from the club itself because they're like, she's underage.
Mm-hmm.
She's flooded her car in our parking lot. What are we going to do?
It was bad. There was like I think like 6 parking spaces that were not covered in water, like that you could park in. Yeah, that was it. Like the rest of it was like knee deep water.
Sheesh. It was insane.
Yeah.
Insane.
It was, and Black Market Special was supposed to play. It was one of the bands.
And Dragon Road.
Yeah.
Nephilim's the lead singer for Nephilim.
Right, and Black Market Special was actually having bus problems like that same day.
If you've ever seen this,
So,
they have a giant prison bus.
Yeah.
That they use.
They like turned a prison bus into their like,
Yeah.
you know, I don't want to call it a tour bus because they don't really tour, but
Their drunken
Yeah.
arcade.
yeah, and they weren't even coming. Like I'd called them, and like they were going to, like they were like out in the rain changing a tire on a prison bus. You know what I mean? Because they were gonna come, and it was like it's entirely up to you, but there's nowhere for you to park.
That's the day.
There's nobody here, and we're talking about a prison bus, and even though they're only like 30 minutes away, that's still probably fucking $40-$50 in gas, and then the way they drink, that's $100 in beer. You know, like
talking of buses, that's the day we learned fuck Rob Way. We're throwing him under the bus.
oh
right
yeah,
now.
fuck some Rob Way.
But anyway, he was the. If you're not looking at me right now, I'm doing finger quotes. Promoter of the show. But he gypped us out of like money.
Yeah, he's just bad news bears. He's just bad news bears all the way around. I'd work with Johnny Nethercutt before I worked with Rob Way.
I don't even think he
Because
lives
at
in the
least,
state anymore.
like they're both cutthroat, but the difference is Rob Way sneaks up behind you and stabs you in the back. You know what I mean? Where Johnny Nethercutt's like, hey, stab. You know, like you know what I'm about to do, but I'm do it. You know, like at least you know what you got. Whereas with Rob, it's like completely.
We're never playing in this state again.
Best buddies.
It's alright. It's alright. We got
He's
house
like,
shows.
Yeah, he's like in Texas now or some shit. He
Well,
didn't
yeah,
move
I'm not worried
away.
about him, but you're like throwing everybody else under the bus.
People, irrelevant ass people. I think we're pretty good. And honestly,
I think we're the most.
at this
How many
point, if
people
we
listen?
still get, I mean, we people still talk to me sometimes. But if you haven't figured out, I don't care. Like, there's like a
I figured that
there's
out. a long time
a
ago.
fucking small handful of people that I tolerate,
Yeah.
and that's it. And I don't even know if they tolerate me, but they don't tell me that they don't like me. So whatever.
Not stopping you.
Yeah, you know it's you know the Jeremy, Patrick, Russell, Shawn. I can't even say the other 2 guys in the band because I don't talk to them much. Like, if it wasn't for the band, we wouldn't have like any common interest. I don't know.
I mean, I'm great friends with them, but
Yeah, no, yeah, and it's not that I don't like them. I like them a lot. I got mad love for them.
I
It's
still
just
go camping with them.
like I said, it's not a small talk person, so I don't care.
Hey,
Just
you know,
fuck it.
it is what it is.
He's not small talk. He's large talk.
Large talk. Large talk.
Anything else you want to promote?
I think we've done enough of that.
Any promo?
Definitely Toys for Tots in
Toys
December.
for
That's
Tots in
definitely
December.
happening. No, I can't announce the date.
Yeah,
yet,
yeah.
but
Well, I mean,
I will say that I have something very special lined up for this year.
Oh, I don't even know about
So
this.
that's my wife knows about it,
Oh,
and that's it.
So I need to talk to her.
She won't tell you. I'm
Bet I can
super
do that.
stoked about it. I've got a band coming in that are pretty popular regionally, and haven't really been doing anything the past year because they've been kind of rebuilding with new members.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm super stoked. They've played a couple. Those who've been following Toys for Tots, they've headlined multiple Toys for Tots shows.
I know
So-
it is.
And they always pull. Always pull. So I'm super stoked about that. I have a feeling that this year's Toys for Tots is going to be the best one yet.
We
Are
always
you
got,
looking the
And
Maywood again?
it'll definitely be at the Maywood
Yeah.
again.
Oh yeah.
So
we always got Danger in the Beer Tuesdays at 8, where we just literally talk about stupid news articles.
Yeah.
That is it.
We just-
not
yeah.
get anything informative. Or,
yeah,
or
if you didn't get enough of my
worthwhile.
stupid ass
Cardi
voice on
B,
this one,
Jussie Smollett. I mean, just hot topic news.
we talk about the shit you don't care about. And then of course Front Row every other week. But like right now we're kind of changing Front Row up.
Alright.
We're doing something different. or we're going to be doing something different. Kind of got a little bit of a shot to the heart this past week. I'm not gonna like say the channel, but I submitted Front Row to a TV channel for like that's on Roku and Amazon. It's not like not like CBS or anything like that.
Yeah.
And basically the email I got back said that we
suck.
basically suck, right? Like it said that we I don't remember the exact words. I sent it to them, but
the music was not very good.
Yeah,
amateur hour at best.
Yeah, the music, they didn't like the music, which really that pissed me off more than anything because it's like we play great fucking music. Like what the fuck are you talking about? Like yeah, maybe our segments might be stupid or maybe my voice is annoying, but the fucking music is solid.
The best part of the thing.
And I'm make sure that is the case.
Yeah.
So, and I'll tell a band real quick that the shit sucks and I'm not gonna play it.
You definitely
Yeah.
will.
And well, okay, that was harsher than it actually is. I'll tell them.
Like me.
I'll tell them that their recording is trash. Like
Yeah,
you know,
sounds like me.
because you can hear a shit recording and be like, okay, that band is solid, but that recording is shit. And I'll tell them in a heartbeat.
As you like to put it, as long as your recording doesn't sound like it was made in a trash can.
Yeah, I'm just because it's not. It doesn't work for anybody, right?
No,
if I'm playing shit music, it's not good for them because they're not gonna go check it out, and they're most likely gonna cut the show off.
If you can't see Nick's in the background pointing at his head, going, "That's me!
Yeah,
that's me!"
So I just I don't have time for that shit, and the people that listen to the show probably don't want to listen to it. So
the two of us.
Yeah. No.
I'm being dramatic, okay? Don't take it personal.
There's at least three. Yeah. I don't know. The YouTube videos, I think we're like right around. We average like 60, 70 views. Mm-hmm. But one thing I liked about the switch from Facebook to YouTube, other than Facebook shutting us down all the time, was that with YouTube you get real stats. Like
YouTube is,
if you have 50 views, 50 people purposely clicked on it, right?
Yeah.
Whereas Facebook, you get 2,000, but only 3 people actually clicked on it on purpose. The rest of them are just auto plays from
just
scrolling
through.
Right.
Yeah.
So that was one thing I liked about switching. Like it gave us a real idea as to like actually who is clicking on it, whether they're watching the whole thing or not. Mm-hmm. But they're at least purposely clicking that button.
They tell you that too.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, YouTube tells you it all.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's. Yeah, it limits our audience, but it also gets us like quality. And I'm always, every aspect of my life is quality over quantity. I've always lived by that. Whether it's my weed, my alcohol, like it's plain and simple. It's quality over quantity. His
cocaine, his meth.
I ran when
heroin.
I was in the heavy metal club. I ran the chapter the same way. Like quality people over quantity of people. I don't want 60 people under us that don't give a shit. Mm-hmm. So, and same thing with friends and family and like, it's all the same. Quality over quantity. It's just that simple. Fuck the rest.
So, how did promo come about again? Quality over quantity.
Promo
is the trend there.
Definitely
buddy.
quality over quantity for sure. Love some promo. This when I first heard that dude sing, I was like, oh yes.
I was blown away by your voice.
Every band I've ever been in has always been lacking a decent front person, right? So, and Shawn does it. He does his little dancing, and he moves good for a big guy.
Yeah, I'm big, but I'm limber.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Hey. You weren't very limber at the camping trip this past weekend. I just want to point that out.
I was sleeping on rocks.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. My knee still hurts.
And I kayaked for like 5 hours.
How do you like kayaking?
Oh, I love it.
You got screwed over on that one. Yeah, that was a blast.
I got that's my new thing to do. So
one of my brothers got into kayaking, and he was like, "Dude, you gotta go kayaking with me." I'm like, "Dude, you live 17 hours away from me. How about you fucking move here?"
45 minutes away. If you ever want to go, we can load up and go.
Yeah, that was definitely my first time kayaking, and that was.
I took him to the first place I ever went kayaking, actually, which is down in the Uwharrie National Forest, and it's like just beautiful.
It was gorgeous, yeah.
Took a giant shit behind a shack hoping in God I'd find some toilet paper somewhere because I was desperate. He comes
That was
walking out of the
fantastic.
He's like, oh, hold up a roll of toilet paper someone is stashed in this shack that they built.
We
out
came
there.
across this island, like, cause I'd already mentioned that I had to piss, and
Like, God, what a horrible time
and
to take a dump.
we come up on this island, so we pull off, and there's like this shack there, and I walk around and take a piss. And he's like, man, I really wish I had some toilet paper. And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like walking around, and I go inside the shack, and I'm checking it out. I come out, I'm like, how bad do you need toilet paper? He's like, pretty bad. And I'm like,
It's like, man,
it was like, I guess the people that are on the river been using that shack periodically, and people leave like toilet paper and like dryer lint to start a fire, some water, just minor supplies for people that might need it. So it came in super clutch.
Yeah, I just feel bad whoever finds that.
Yeah,
Like, what kind of bear was hanging around this island?
Yeah.
Bear with a big red beard.
Yeah, I didn't realize how close to the water you were too, because we were fishing right in that area, and then I got my lure stuck on that tree. When I floated over there to get my lure, it was like over. I'm like, oh my god! What? Oh wait, that's right. This Shawn. That's right.
You know
I'm
what's
like-
really
I'm like,
weird
dude,
when you
what's-
shit in the woods? Like when a grown ass man shits in the woods and he looks at it, it's like that does look like bear shit.
Right. The whole weekend was like he's now answered the lifelong question: does a Shawn shit in the woods? We now know, yes,
Well,
if
that's
he has
not
to.
the first time, but that's much
But,
better
yeah.
than the first time, because the first time I ever did it when I was a kid, I used poison ivy to wipe with. So that was a long-lasting impression.
The upside is you only do that once in a lifetime. Because I can almost bet after you wipe poison ivy on your butthole, you learn what poison ivy looks like and you don't
I
do it
knew what it
again.
looked like before, but I sure didn't notice it when I was using it.
Oh man, that's great.
All right, guys.
Oh, good stuff.
It's about to be. It's that time, I think.
All right.
It's that time.
Mm-hmm.
He's shutting us down.
Shutting us down.
All right. Well, this was fun.
A good host knows when it's time to shut the damn interview
Right
down.
on. Right on.
We do that show on Front Row because some interviews will go 30 minutes, and some of them, like, you can just tell,
Well, it's just
like it's like starting to like die
late.
out. Yeah,
it's
it's
just late. I don't know if I mentioned, I'm normally in bed by like 9 o'clock.
Oh, God,
So-
man. We're way past your
Dude.
bedtime.
He does that to me all the time.
Oh, yeah.
I can't write music if he's always sleeping.
Yeah.
Are y'all in a band?
Oh, yeah.
Projects
Guitarist. Starting. Do you know Continuations?
Yeah, I know of them.
The drummer Morgan.
No, I have no idea.
Phenomenal.
Okay.
Phenomenal drummer.
Hmm.
Love him.
Very cool.
Yeah. So he's in project with us.
Okay.
Just finishing it out. Hopefully get bass and get lead guitar soon.
Would be cool to hear.
Fingers crossed.
Probably a rhythm guitar.
Good luck on the
Oh,
basis.
yeah.
Oh, is that you?
It's fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, good luck.
We're
finding
actually
the
looking for
bassist.
2 guitarists now.
Are you going somewhere?
Fuck this guy.
I just write the music. I don't play it.
Seriously?
No.
Oh.
No, I
We
write.
might-
I'll say,
music.
shit, you wanna
I
write
write
some
all the
more?
fucking music.
We have no time for promo. We could definitely use somebody just doing all the work for us. We'll just get a whole another young band to practice for us, and then we'll go play the shows. It works that way, right?
Record your practices, send
Yeah.
them to us. We'll go play.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry.
Wait.
We got this.
Can you re-record that? Because I can't play that. You're gonna have to dumb that down.
A, B, C,
Yeah.
D.
I'm still a dumbed down bassist. I just can't.
Right on. Okay.
That's all you need.
Mm-hmm.
Just open,
Hold
open,
on.
one, open, 1, 3, open.
No, we're not a
open.
music band.
I do a little bit more than that. Pick up a pancake, pick up a pancake. Banana, banana.
From the ashes of